Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar where we talk about all things GBO2 and tangents sometimes. Hopefully not much with all we got to cover this episode. But anyway, I'm joined by Gustav the 13th
Yep.
and Gaming Emblem.
Hey,
So guys, how was your past week?
It's been okay. Okay. Bigger thing is that we actually finished up Yakuza 5 earlier this week. Moving on to Song of Life. And the new engine, which is the Dragon engine, which is already starting to show my PlayStation's age, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to suffer through it because, of course, the collection I think just recently dropped, but it includes everything leading up to 6. 6 isn't coming out until March. But it's been fun. It's gonna be interesting to get deeper into that. But of course, it came like right when we were gonna be doing the podcast and all that. So today's the off day. We'll probably pick it up tomorrow. Other than that, just been hanging out at home. So trying to stick it out, especially since we got that newest strain of coronavirus here. There are a couple infection cases in local cities, so trying to keep low still. But what about you guys?
just as a follow up, because I don't think I understand. Like, Yakuza 6 is already out, right? Are you talking like a remake of it or something?
No, there is a PC port that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're putting the whole
Waiting
thing on PC, and ideally, I'm actually kind of curious of how the older games would even run by comparison. But one of the main reasons that I got a new computer back earlier this year was because Kiwami 2 was using the same engine and was actually kicking my old computer's ass to try to run and stream that at the same time.
Okay.
So
Also, by the way, I've been doing this too, but do you mean last year?
oh yeah, that's right.
For real though, it just feels like just time.
It's all just
flowing.
mushed together. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Oh, what did you say?
I said earlier this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been
I see.
saying this year a
Oh,
lot,
no.
and I'm just like, wait a minute. Oh yeah,
I mean, it's just 2020
January.
plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus one. There we go. Ugh. But yeah, the
I gotcha.
I'm definitely curious to see how that runs on PC though. But yeah, I watched a little bit before I got started yesterday.
Likely with less screen tearing, so. Ooh, I started to see that when I went into that store and I was like, it hurts me. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but it hurts me. Fuck.
I know where I do the remote play, it normally looks a little bit better on the actual stream side, so I'm like, everything's a lot choppier on my end. So if it's ever choppy on the stream, it's just a little bit worse on my end. So it's just like, I'm like, well, is it? And I look over and I'm like, okay, it's running fine over there. We're good. But yeah, know that feel.
This thing is a fucking monster. Okay.
But yeah, Emblem, how was your week?
Just been streaming a lot. Had to actually take out of work again due to COVID related reasons, so I found myself with a lot of free time. Nothing bad that I've heard. Everything seems good, but we're just having to be extra careful. Is also I've just been streaming and doing stuff at home. Finished up Super Robot Wars OG1. Did the first mission of OG2, but for my new current secondary game, I'm actually doing Namco Cross Capcom. We were kind of touching on it a little bit.
Nice.
And it's been something I wanted to play because I played Endless Frontier, Project X Zone 1 and 2. Never actually played like the first, well, what I know to be the first game. There could be another one before it, who knows? But haven't had a chance to play it, so it's pretty nice. It's a little bit weird because you get used to a lot of quality of life stuff when you play some of the later games, and you go back and play like the originals or the older ones, and it's just kind of like, oh, I can't do this. So it could be kind of rough.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that I'm like, I go to the second one and I'm just like, yeah, this quality of life's so good, and then you go back and it's just like I can never go back.
How can anyone play like this?
Yeah, right. How did I do
Doing
it?
Yakuza chronological was pretty much just that. Like going from Kiwami 2 to 3 is like, wow, this is actually really different. I have to stick it up for a few games until we get back up to speed here.
The funny thing is when they like one of the games that I can think of that I definitely did that with was like the Dynasty Warriors games,
Mm.
and then going from some games where then they take features out on the next game. I'm like, where's my customizable dude? I want to make my own character, my own original character. Why can't I in 4? It was cool in 3, but anyway.
Don't worry. That's just for the sake of Dynasty Warriors, though. They're just waiting until they make the second remake of that game before they put the character customization back in. You know, you have to wait for Extreme Legends or whatever. You know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got like
You never buy the first Dynasty Warriors game. You wait till they add some adjectives to the title.
Man,
and then you buy
Dynasty
that
Warriors was Skyrimming before Skyrim even thought about Skyrimming. Dude. Like they were next level on getting people to buy 50 of the same game.
I mean, even before that, Street Fighter and just
Yeah.
Capcom in general were really guilty
sure.
of it.
You
But
gotta get your Turbo Edition of your Street Fighter game now or whatever.
yeah, what else? What else for you, Emblem?
That's about it though. Just actual quarantine life because we're having to stay inside.
So yeah, for me, I made a list of games in someone else's stream, and when they were talking about games that they need to get done, and I was like, yeah, too many games, and then I was just like, yeah, I got this, and I wasn't even paying attention to what I was typing, and then I had like a paragraph in their chat, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, don't have to read that. TLDR, too many games. But like I just didn't even pay attention. I just started listing things off, and it was just like, oh no. So, but right now though, Path of Exile, GBO2. That's about it. I haven't really been up to much else other than that. A lot of IRL stuff this week. Had a doctor's appointment. Went to that. Got to say hey to Junkyard Jack IRL. So that was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, the been pretty much lazy and getting things done at the same time. Also, did you guys hear about those stonks?
Oh god, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, for real though.
They finally shut down trade for it earlier.
Oh yeah, that's the crazy thing. And so there's already a class action lawsuit.
And there's a lawsuit. I'm
hoping something comes out for that. I'll take some more money, please.
Yes.
But anyway, the yeah, so the not smart thing would just be, upgrade everything and go for like a 3090 right now. And but I'm gonna probably try to do smart things rather than just than just blow the
You're gonna
money.
invest your newfound wealth in future Magnum.
Yeah, man. Like a year ago, I'm like,
IRA.
thank you. Like actually, how long ago did I get GameStop? Like they were like $4 or something per share, and I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's buy. I call it taco stock is what I call it because it's just the thing. If I really need like food money, then I can just eat that and go get a taco from Taco Bell. But like anything that's that cheap though, I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't think they're going out of business, and it's not enough to really like. I'm not gonna lose anything if it just disappears. And yeah, I'm just sad though that I decided to cash out early a little bit. At least I had a few more once it hit 300 per share. I'm just really sad though that I missed that. Instead of like what I got, I could have had like triple what I have.
I'm mad. Like by the time I saw the article, it was already too late, and it was like super high. It wasn't gonna be worth it. Like shit.
Yeah, I think it's crazy when people still went in at like 300. It peaked at like 439 or something like that. It was something crazy. Like if I would have been on at that point and was able to sell, like, oh. So I messed up though. I got rid of most of what I had a little too early, but I thought it was over.
Reverse.
Yeah, but I mean I still won, so I just didn't win as big as I could have.
I mean, if your buy-in was $4 a stock, like, and you got out in the $100 range, I mean, no one's a fucking loser there.
Oh man, I was
So they also brought out that they were going to target AMC next, but I think because people were already talking about that, they might try to preemptively shut it down if that class action lawsuit doesn't go through.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting though. Like at this point, I think it's interesting that we have like senators and stuff jumping in on the conversation, being like, "Yo, this isn't right," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" wait. We're actually maybe winning here. So I just think it's funny what they've been saying. Like the Discord got shut down because they said they had inappropriate language, but like it's a self insult because they're like they're like what's
Now, was it the admins that did it, or was it Reddit themselves that did it?
No, this is Discord. This is
the Discord. Sorry.
Yeah, so
because I was
Discord,
gonna say there was also Reddit that they were covering too.
Yeah, they were trying to get rid of Reddit too, but the thing is, like, the joke is, all the big guys are calling everybody like, mental people and whatnot. Boy, here's an easy one. Here's a joke that normally gets. It's like, okay, let's go, us army of autists. Let's go over here now. Right? So that's they're just memeing on it at this point, and they're like, oh look, they're calling each other bad names. Ban them, and that's what got the Discord banned apparently.
Nice.
So it's like, but I mean, there's definitely been a few worse things.
That was their in.
Yeah, but it's like, obviously they're memeing on themselves and nobody's really actually insulting anybody. So hopefully it comes back. But I'm like, really, that's the best you guys got. So
I think without blatantly saying that they just didn't want the heat for harboring those guys, then yes.
Yeah, but it's also too, they're also trying to say like people that are messaging in any of this stuff is like far right, racist, and everything else. So I'm just like, really, guys? But yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's been cool. I've been hyped. It's been great to watch. It's been fantastic to watch, and it's been awesome just kind of luckily being a part of some of this. So yeah. Also, I did get into some of the AMC a little bit. That was nice too.
Chat told me that the Discord that you're talking about is back up, by the way.
It's back up? Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. But yeah, I think it's hilarious. I'm loving it. But yeah, that's pretty much been the most eventful thing for me this week. Is just all that nonsense. But anyway, let's go ahead. Like I said, we got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and hop into some Kapool, right?
Well, actually, it's the Capule. Oh boy! So,
oh my gosh! Wait,
something I didn't notice the other day was first of all, they didn't spell it right for the actual suit name, but the melee weapon is spelled correctly.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What is it? It's like an iron nail or something, right?
Yeah, the iron nail. So Capule on there, and it's Kapool for the actual names.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it's the turn A one. When we got the double Zeta one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it. Oh my gosh.
These are wrong naming on the main one, yeah.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for somebody to try to correct that on the wiki because I put it on the correct name.
Turn.
Turner. Now that being said, a bunch of people have been coloring theirs like the turn A one.
Yes.
Just the mad run with the joke. Noob Sama does, and there's a guy in my team right now that has it like that.
That is great. That is fantastic. Okay, so what do we think about the Kapool though?
Punch.
What how does it feel?
It's fucking ridiculous.
It seems pretty tanky, like when we were playing against it.
a lot of consecutive stun, good output with the range. The fact that it has melee priority 3 is absurd. So you're actually like gonna be heading off against like Mark 2s and shit. And overall, I mean, like, it's kind of weird that it came with the new map, which, you know, spoiler alert, I guess, is not an aquatic map. But so it's gonna be a little while until I probably get this on like port base wet or anything like that. But it's been nice. Definitely something that's worth messing with because surprisingly, on top of it having some pretty good weapons, they have decent range on them. I think the stumpiest thing is maybe the sonic beam, which is just like the crotch laser it's got going on.
Yeah.
But everything else actually has some decent reach. The missiles you can fire on the move, and by that I mean you can fire while boosting, and of course the head lasers you can fire while running.
At least that doesn't have too big of a charge time too. That was one thing that I was concerned about.
Oh my lordy.
I like that the head beam can stagger though. I was afraid it was just gonna be a blink laser like the detector's little laser that it has.
So it's 4 shots for that, and then 3 missiles for the main weapon.
Wow, that's
done. And from what I can tell, it's like 12 shots per heat bar. Like if you just lay down on it, so you can legit just time your shots and then move on to the next person and get another stun on them as you're backpedaling.
What do we got for percentages on that?
The missiles are 35% stagger buildup per missile. You only get 8 of them per clip. Range on them is 350 on the level 1, 355 on level 2. The laser beam is 250, which is the same as the sonic blast. And it's 30% per shot, and you get 11 shots according to this before overheat. On the head laser, and a sonic blast is 35 per tick.
What was that? 5 missiles for damage control 2 and 6 lasers for damage control 2?
Yeah, or no, it should be 5 for damage control 2.
Wait, isn't it 166?
It's 130, 60, right?
Oh, it's yeah. Well, wait, is it 30 and then 60?
Are you talking about level 2 or
Yeah, level 2 damage control.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if you meant like damage control, like TOO. Okay, yeah, you would need an extra shot.
So, but that's still pretty solid. I mean, what do we have that would have that? Does the bowl of oats have damage control? Right?
That's damage control 3.
Oh, okay. So you need a.
Alright, so is that part of what we have to talk about later, or is that what it's always had?
It's always, or they may have adjusted it the last time they buffed it, but it currently has it now. It was not changed last night.
Okay.
We do have something to talk about with that too. I'll add that in the buffs and nerfs. I don't know. I mean, it's cool that they separated it, but we'll talk about that in buffs and nerfs because that's pretty huge. Although this time it's literally only buffs. But yeah. Damage is good on all of its weapons though too. Isn't the damage on its melee like 2400?
Yep, 24 at level 1, 2520 at level 2.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, what's the modifiers on its swings? That's what I'm curious about.
100% on neutral. Side swings are 90, which is pretty relevant. That's 15 higher than what you normally have. It's usually 75. The downswing is 2-hitter, and it's 90% per hit. So it's 180 damage modifier downswing.
That's chunky.
With priority 3.
I know I got hit in the EXS, which is a 650 suit. Now, given I only just put on some melee res recently and decided to try to get good with my cooldown and not overheating things, but
train.
Pretty much the yeah, Gustav hit me and like half my health was gone with that melee, and I was just like, what? Did something else hit me? And I'm looking around, I'm like, no, there's only a Gustav here. Gustav, please. Please, no.
Damn Gustav.
Yeah, definitely hits hard.
So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Does it have anything difference with its modifiers to like 1 and 2 swings? Or are they about the same?
No, it's still full damage, half damage.
A little weird with that right swing that you did there. And I got a short range on his side swings, looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't swipe outwards from its body. It actually like swipes inward.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Kinda wish it didn't did that.
Yeah, that's one crazy thing with the GOG, because the GOG is like backhand and then the hand backhands behind it. Okay, so I guess we would go over the skills real quick and then the stats.
Yep, I can do either of them, unless Gustav also has the suit, so whatever works. Are you gonna match still, Gustav?
Yeah, I'm gonna match.
Okay.
We can bring it up after.
Stat-wise, it's so it's a 500 cost, 500, 550. Base HP is 19,500, 21,000 at level 2.
Whoa.
The physical ammo defense is 25 at level 1, 28 at level 2. Beam resist is 14 and 15 respectively. Melee modifier or melee damage resist is 25, 27. Range damage correction is 25, 28. Melee modifier is 25, 27. Has a speed of 125. Boosted movement is 205. Has 65 thrust. Turning speed of 66. It has ground specialization and water specialization. Has a special counterattack, according to this. I actually don't recall what it looks like. Probably have to look at the thing again. That kid is just doing this melee. Yeah. Slot wise, it at level 1 it has 20 top slots, 22 at level 2. Medium slots are 10 and 13, and bottom slots are 6 and 7. Let's see. We went over some of the weapons. Skill wise, we have leg shock absorber level 3, evasion level 1, balancer 1, force injection 2, combo controller level 1, maneuver armor level 1, explosive reactive armor, and shoulder cushion level 1.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit bigger than what it is, honestly. It's a little bit smaller frame than what I thought it would be. So having just one dodge roll isn't the worst, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things at this cost. I don't think the explosive reactive is like the craziest skill to have. I mean, it's nice, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like the MLRS might be the only thing you're worried about when you go to 550. And that's kind of my next question. I was surprised the health was so high, but what do we think it compares to in the current meta, and do we think it's solid enough to compete?
It seems good from what I can tell. It has a lot of the qualities that you see in some of the nicer generals. Granted, it doesn't have the instant knockdown that Dryson has, or the instant stunning tri-blades, but you have a boost. You have like a quick staggering boost option. The Sonic Blast is a little bit weird. It's kind of cool. Like, I don't know if we mentioned it, but that does put to a knee when it hits. And it pierces and hits multiple targets. So in the cases where it's relevant, cool. But everything it does builds up fast. Like, it doesn't have like a go-to instant shot, but I think the Kapool would probably do a fine job of shutting down most raids, just because their primary defense maneuver armor gets made kind of moot whenever you're fighting against it, because they'll just punch right through it pretty quickly at that too.
And then where it has maneuver armor, it can just boost at things to stagger and not care if they're shooting back. So, do we? I know it's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, granted, a lot of the raids at that cost that are used a lot can kind of tag it out of maneuver armor in the same respect. Jarja would 2-shot it and pop it out of maneuver armor, or just use its missiles. Like, probably about roughly the same amount of missiles would stagger it out of maneuver armor. So you might just end up having trades if that happens. Bawu, kind of same idea. So it's kind of interesting. But it doesn't seem bad. Like we'll kind of see. I think for me, I'm just gonna have to see where it sits. I only played it against it a little bit last night. Matches were kind of hard to set up because of everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
But we did get a couple of games against it. But it doesn't seem like the worst thing ever.
I think it would stagger faster though against raids, so I think it's fine against raids. I think it's fantastic in that regard. And since it has so many options to do that, like you can boost at something if you catch them off guard, then they dodge roll, you can just do it again. So you can just repeat that boost at them and get the stagger. But when it comes to the generals, so at 500, you definitely got the Mark II, which is kind of interesting. I was wondering if the Gallus J if this has the same Gallus J problems. And I mean, I've been seeing the Gallus J played more since they did that recent buff for its defenses. I think this thing's fine. My question is its beam resist is pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
So, what do we have at 500 and 550 that's meta that will just decimate this thing?
Eyezack custom.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say there's definitely some obvious supports. Detector will just I got to
Uniform boosted, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Now, do we see that a lot though? Is that pretty common?
I don't really see
Boosted's
it.
pretty
whenever I
common.
play.
I see it sometimes, but like
I don't see it very much personally.
yeah, I see it. The closer I get to A+, the less I see it. And they
also don't see
rage
the
when I
Eyezack
try to do it.
custom really all that much anymore either.
Yeah,
at least in my games.
I get meleeed if I pick the Eyezack custom.
Although the scary thing now is that, speaking of the buffs, Dodge Custom is going to be running around at that cost too.
Now that's what I'm curious to try. I haven't got to try that yet because that sounds amazing. I used to play the hell out of that suit, so.
But really, the bulk of what you're going to be dealing with is like Rick Diaz and Mark IIs.
And then at 550, you're going to have to deal with the Bryson. So, I mean, I guess it beats Dryson's maneuver armor and damage control or whatever it has. I mean, it has everything.
And it also beats its priority, which is crazy.
Yeah, so I think we might be able to. I think most teams could get away with having one for sure, maybe two. I just don't know if it has enough like defense and health to actually do what the Dryson does because it's tanky,
Well,
but it's missing that beam.
I think in that level or at that cost though, you're still kind of mainly worried about physical shells, right? Because I mean,
at 550 for sure.
Like, well, yeah, I mean, but you aren't doing anything at 600, so well, probably. So like, it does have a bit of a lower. And it'll hurt. It'll hurt when you have the people who are using the beam rifles a little bit. Bald guy beta, maybe the occasional Mark II that's running the beam rifle, depending on what their preference is. Stuff like that. But Mudrock primary follow-up shots or something like that. But it seems like they kind of built the stats set up to give you the defenses you need to be able to push in at the very least.
I think at where it doesn't have damage control, the MLRS would do fine. But like the detector just decimates this thing. Like even with some deep defense on it, I can one combo this thing to death. Like I'll shoot it, then somebody dodges, then I just shoot it again.
Like trying to get to a detector that's perched up, unless they're like not good at covering like their angles, is a pain in the ass because you have to sit there for a sec just to nail them, and in the meantime, they're just gonna either stun loop you or, whittle your health down.
But yeah, I think it's solid though. It's definitely a viable option. I'm just curious to see if there's any kind of like shift in general meta with this.
Kinda. I mean, so far, normally it's a team doing a lot of Kapool. The other team's doing mostly Mark IIs, and they're kind of just trading a lot. right now, but I get the feeling that you might see one or two by the end of the week, but it's mostly going to be the same meta. That lack of instant stun, even if it's something that some people can get over, is not something that the general player base is going to want to put up with.
Oh yeah. That's actually kind of why I wanted, after seeing you play it and just being like, it's got all these shooty things that stagger. Yes, let's go intensify. So I kind of want it. But yeah, I guess final thoughts on it. We don't have anything else we want to point out.
There's a possibility it could stick around. Kind of makes me think a little bit of how, and maybe it's not quite the same, but it kind of gives me some of the feel of how you're seeing the Zaku wet floating around a marine in some of the lower cost games, and maybe it being a one-of on a team to kind of have that high output, kind of like quick stagger build up kind of role might be there. What's wrong, Gustav? Something weird going on in your game, or what?
Yeah, that dude got heavy staggered.
Yeah.
But what hit him? I think it was a friendly, but
that was weird.
But no, I mean, I guess the bigger thing in terms of the Marine, its main gun, especially because things at that cost line has a really low health pool, it's pretty much melting things. It's a good finisher. I don't like this has decent output, but I don't know if it's quite there. And the I'd say like the Sonic Beam definitely has it going on, but
I think
having it stand still, having I it stand still, like you really have to have them on their ass already for that to really be relevant.
Yeah, and with where it is on this thing, so like if it was on its head, kind of like the Zoc, it's a little bit easier to actually aim.
It doesn't really have any good clearance.
Set up, yeah. And then since it's a crotch beam, you're just like, well, they're coming around this corner. Hopefully they don't stagger me at the same time that I decide to shoot this. So it's, yeah, the vantage point of that beam is just a little weird. But
there's a little bit of wind up on that neutral too. Like he was actually able to shoot me out of that before it actually jutted out. And that's for your neutral. That's not good. Oof.
But yeah, I think I think it definitely has a spot that it could fill in. I'm really curious. I think we'll see definitely one on 6v6 teams, and it might stick around, especially at 500. At 5,
6 teams for sure.
At 550, I don't know, because the Dryson's a thing. But
because I would say, much like the Zaku Marine, this is something that takes advantage of like having other people around it to just like supplement the stun while it's just doing its output. Like it doesn't really even have to go in if it's murder balling at that point.
Yeah. We don't have anything else. Go ahead and move on to actually, instead of doing the PS5 stuff, I'm gonna flip it and let's since Gustav's been playing on it, do we want to just talk about the military base?
Sure.
Then we'll go into the PS5 stuff and things.
Yeah, topic.
I'm doing the same thing, but yeah, it's so far. I guess what is the consensus with what few games you've played? Good, bad, otherwise? Too big? Too chaotic?
That's what she said. But I haven't played a real game on there. I'm at to stick to indifference. Because I played like a handful of matches and it was 2v2, so it's hard to say.
Well, here's my first impressions. I think it's an insanely fun map, and I think it's cool. But in rated, I don't want to play it at all because everybody's everywhere, and I think E is kind of the power point that everybody's going to be contesting the most. And
you're floating around me a lot. when I played, so I can believe that.
And that's kind of what seems to be is going on in Gustav's game right now too. So
Yeah.
it seems like E is the contested area, and that's funny as almost. But the
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
it's just too big. Like it has the same problems Deserted City has. People's everywhere. I've had like 4 lever games already.
Deserted
That's rough
City,
given how they change stuff.
I feel like Deserted City still has a little bit more structure than this does.
Yeah,
I like Deserted City a little bit more, but it might
Yeah.
just be what I'm familiar with right now, just from the matches I played in it.
Well, what I'm saying though is it has the same problem that I think stuff like Deserted City and Jungle have, is that everybody's kind of all over the place, and there's not really, especially this one, it's so wide open. There could be some cool stuff that comes out of it. I think games where there's a bunch of flying suits or suits that can get on buildings real quick. So I think we're going to see a lot actually Gun Cannon 2. Like the Gun Cannon 2 players, as much as I trash on that suit and say it's the worst support we got in the game.
It's because they didn't have any good maps to actually be up on top.
Yeah.
They took it away from them on port base. So they actually have a chance here.
Yeah, so like you can just jump from building to building and not care because you can quick boost and then fly to the next building. So there's not too much a raid can do to chase you down, which is actually kind of interesting. And for me personally, one of my hardest things is if I'm playing a raid that has to get up on the building with somebody, sometimes it can be slightly difficult to do. And as a support, I know at lower cost, I used to jump around with like the Zaku cannon on port base, even when I'd see somebody coming at me, especially if they were in like a Zaku 1, because I'm like, oh, you're just gonna bazooka. Okay, I'll jump over here real quick. Now you still gotta shoot me. You shot me. Now you gotta I got 7 seconds, man. I can move somewhere else.
I got time.
But so yeah, I'm curious to see what comes out of that. A lot of the building stuff will be pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off the side of things, Gustav, too, and bring up the webpage. But yeah, so
I wanted
far.
to ask you real quick, Magnum.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the problem you're mentioning with being too big or people just everywhere, do you think that's more of a problem with just the map being new and people want to explore? Because that never doesn't sound like a fault of the map to me, honestly. That just sounds like the players are all being dumb.
Well, I mean, that again, like I think this map is great for something like clan matches or ace games. Actually, ace feels pretty cool on it because then there's a central objective that everybody's hopefully trying to do. And that's kind of the problem with like basic is everybody's just everywhere trying to get kills, doing their own fight. And like I've either had games to where it's been pretty solid, or I've had games to where everybody's everywhere and someone's like, we did it in the first like 2 minutes of the game and then just yeets out. So when I say I've had lever games, it's not because the servers have been dead. I mean, it could have been, but literally the guy was just like, we did it, we did it, we did it. Player has disconnected. I'm like, okay, well. So like that's the thing. So it's been kind of an issue with that, and I don't know if that was just the problem with 650, and we had like 2 EXSs in the game because people's wanting to try that now. But yeah, it was a little all over the place, and it's been an issue.
I mean, there's also something to be said for map design when it comes to intuitiveness, like the way that they channel lanes or just have pathing for it be done. That just kind of makes it more obvious. The meta on some of them has shifted, but like more often than not, like for example, I think City Runs does it pretty good. Even though they have a lot of like alleys and sideways, like it's obvious what you're going to be doing in those areas, and it definitely has a certain like good flow to it.
Right, it's clear where you want to go.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Now, like, is the meta going to turn into everybody rush E, then the team who wins takes E, and then there's a fight between, like, then the loser of that gets the next closest point, and you kind of have a fight between that?
Well, Tropical Desert kind of had that happen too, right? Because it's pretty open, but it's centralized. The same thing with Port Base. You still had the center point, where everything mostly happens. And if not, then it's the parallel point further north, which is D. But it's usually at one of those two. Those where things really pop off. So if it's gonna be E on this one, then I guess that's fine. But it's just gonna be another case like port base specifically, where like, you know how there's a whole like shipyard and like those outer areas that no one ever goes to, except in this case, because the map's so big, it's literally gonna be just the rest of the map that doesn't get touched.
I just kind of wonder what everyone's going to spin around.
Yeah, that's been like I put that again in the description comment on when because it's like, so yeah, where's the ring around the something here? It's gonna be E.
Maybe
That's
everyone-
what it is. We just
Yeah, I mean
everybody
it
rushes
is,
E
but
and
like
hold on for
where is E like dead center? I have to look again when I drop.
no, it favors
I don't think
the
they have anything.
Southwest team for sure.
Oh, it is the one.
So like the other team's gonna have to just beeline, but they might be able to go on the outside if they're on the southwest end.
So yeah, and then it has those little. I love how it has those little like explosion areas where there's like a dip in the ground, and it's like they pointed those out as if they were gonna be some like
Sniper holes.
yeah. It's like nah, man. No,
I
that's a
can't
death
even
trap.
use my dick beam here. Like, what am I supposed to do here?
So,
Yeah, so
I don't think they understand that like they have a fetish for underslinging their guns, and it's just not gonna work like that.
yeah,
Ooh, Pixie.
I think, but yeah, I still think it's kind of too big. It's got some problems like Jungle and Deserted City have of just like there can be people everywhere, and you're just going into YOLO queue, and there's going to be a lot of frustration. And right now, especially where there's not any established meta of people doing things, it's definitely going to be. It's even worse right now. So, will there be some kind of established meta? Probably. Will it fix the overall problem that I've had with both Deserted City this entire time and Jungle so far, and any other map that's kind of too big or where people can get displaced too easy? I think this has the same problem. But is it a fun map? I think it's great. I love the map.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
love
like we were
playing on it.
talking about. Like we were talking about before with like transformables or flying suits, this is one of the few maps that is like, it is a retro map because it wasn't GBO1, but it doesn't have any like weird invisible walls to mess with, so the sky is pretty open. And the fact that you have so much distance between things means you might actually have a chance to get some stuff done before you get docked out of the air.
But I mean, that's just my big concern. So, but like I said, I'm having fun with this so far. Custom games, let's go.
I gotta be careful because I keep forgetting I have priority 3 in this thing, and I'm like interrupting other suits.
Slap them around. They should have priority 3 too.
No, they do, but we're like bouncing off when we're like friendly, and I'm like, uh-oh. As to where normally they would just hit through me, and it's like, oh, I did my damage, I'm fine, whatever.
But any other thoughts on military base?
It's so damn big.
I'll just say what we mentioned. I think no, we didn't do anything about it last time, did we? I would have liked to have seen them add a little bit more flavor to it. Just in regard to like it being somewhere else. You know, we've been down this road a few times where they introduced space. What could it have been lunar base and been the same map but on the moon and in space? And they flavor it in to be a ground map by saying like we rigged up a gravity field around the map, and that would make the invisible wall at the edges canon because you can't fly out or you'll be in space, and it plays like a ground map, but you're on the moon, and it's literally just military base, but it looks cooler because it's dark out because you're in fucking space, and it's not just port base. It's not just the other side of port base,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is just like when you see that those extra structures on the outside of port base, and you're like, where is that? What is that?
Oh,
Oh, That's what this is.
Like for real though, the like E is literally the hangar where your base normally is. Only they've closed it in, put some boxes. They repaired it and put boxes in it, and it's like, oh no. And then they have like all the structures from like Port Base in here as well. They, like literally copy pasted buildings here.
And don't get me wrong, because I don't want to make it sound like, making games is easy. Because everybody recycles assets, like
Yeah.
they've been doing it forever. Blue slime, green slime, black slime, whatever, right? But they could have, we could have done a little bit more. And like I said, just copy paste the map, put it on the moon. The flavor text is there's a gravity generator, and like, boom. I think I would have been more interested. Like, ooh, it's in space, but it's just got ground gameplay, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the creative factor could have went up a little bit, but I just don't know. I don't want this. I don't want to play this in rated. I'm just like, nah, man, I'm out. Get me out of here. That's my problem. I think it's fun to play on, but as far as like actually
It's really
trying to
not a good
climb,
competitive map. Like if
yeah,
it had if he had bigger teams, then fine, but we don't.
That should be interesting.
and then Ace seems pretty cool. Like I said though, where people kind of can focus if your team focuses. Then it actually seems to work out pretty well. But because so far my two Ace games have been pretty solid. Both teams seem to be doing pretty good.
They'll introduce 8v8 once they finish shutting down the PS4 server side of the
Oh
game.
no!
That's what's going on right now. They're just they're wrapping all of the PS4 kids up. I'm like, all right, losers, go get a PS5 from your dad,
Yeah.
and download a real game.
Yeah, and with that said, what about the PS5 and those connection issues that happened, guys?
I don't know. PS5 wouldn't know because apparently they're not peasants like everyone else.
Well,
Gameplay's fine. I don't know
What
what
do
you're
you
talking
mean?
about.
what's wrong with you?
So it was
Peasants
PS5
Can't
and
have
Japan
bread and give them
privilege.
cake.
Well, okay, so the thing is, again, from what I've been hearing is there's a lot of people with PS5 who have been.
That also can't play.
Well, the thing is, you'll get in a game and then you'll DC, and yeah, then you end
That's
up.
because they're being mixed in with the unwashed masses.
Possibly. I haven't had that
But
problem.
I
I also haven't played a ton.
I mean, we had like one guy disconnect yesterday once they got in, and then I've just been hearing more people be like, "Well, I've got the PS5 version, but I DC like every third game."
Yeah,
And
I mean,
either it's
also like I mentioned, there was that other guy on the original patch post for the server when they tried to fix it. And he's like, "Well, I still ended up getting a bunch of errors, and I was on PS5, so."
yeah. So I think it's like half broke on PS5 and then fully broke on PS4, and then if you just go to JP, it works.
As I say, yeah, the JP client works. The international clients don't.
JP Master Client, get in there.
Mhm.
And just as a heads up to anybody watching, the account that you use to play Battle Operation is your PSN account, and regardless if you're using the Western client or the JP client, as long as you're logged into whatever your Western PSN account you normally play on is, you can load up to JP client and you have all of your tokens, all of your suits, all of your progress. There's no like save file transfer or any of that nonsense
Yeah.
that you have to worry about. It's all server side, and it loads it up based on whatever your PSN is when you log into whichever client of the game. So if you have the ability to download a JP client, you're waiting to play the game. Go ahead and do that, and just play on your normal account, and you can play just fine. You just won't be able to buy tokens if you're on a JP client, but you can literally get on the NA client, assuming you're able to get on, buy the tokens if you want to
And
do
then
that.
switch when you want to play.
Yeah, then switch over to the other, switch over to JP, and just do your roles there. Just so that's clear for everybody watching.
Yeah, and you don't need anything. You just make a JP account. So make it in the like JP's like the area region or region. There we go. And then you just make an account, download the client, then make that PS4 or PS5 your primary PlayStation for that account. I'm assuming they have that same thing on PS5. That still...
I didn't have to do anything like that. I don't recall having to do anything like that, honestly.
That's cool. Now, in the PS4, you have to make it your primary, and then you can log into the client with your NA account. That's how I did it 2 years ago when I first started day one before the NA client existed.
Right. I don't recall doing anything like that either on my PS4, but it could have just been a while, and I just don't remember.
They might automatically make it your primary these days too.
That's possible too.
But yeah, so that's all you got to do. And yeah, that's been the other question that I've been getting. That's why I made that little... I got a command now that has just a thing playing, do this, because like literally when I got on, they're like, "How are you playing right now?" And I'm like, after explaining it like 6 times, I was like, okay, I don't mind to explain, but how can I speed this up so I don't have to broken record this. But yeah, as far as the connection things go, so that's pretty much the main thing now. We don't know when they're gonna have a fix for this, so hopefully soon.
Still trying to keep an eye on the Twitter.
But let's go ahead and talk about the PS5 version. How does it feel, Emblem? How does
that PS5 privilege is going on?
Yeah.
Did you have like... oh, I guess the bigger thing is when you downloaded it, did you just log in and that was it?
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything different. It's just like normal. I really don't notice any differences, to be completely honest. Because I mean, if you're playing PS4 people, you still have to wait for them, so the load times are kind of like, you know, it's faster. It's faster in single player stuff, like they showcased in their thing. Notice I didn't show any multiplayer. But yeah, I mean, the special vibrations are neat. It's a little bit more flavor than just like, you know, when you like boost and you get out of a boost, your like controller like does a little intermittent vibrating thing because you're like, you know, scraping along the ground or whatever.
Cool.
When you charge your beam rifle, like your controller does like a kind of pulsing vibration kind of thing. You know, so like, you know, like, ooh, I can feel the power of my beam saber charging or whatever.
Power is growing into my mobile suit.
And I ended up turning the haptics off. Like it was weird, man. Yeah, like it didn't seem like a big deal for Zooks. Like bazookas were pretty much normal. They're just like the ever so slightest little like click. It was just more of like you were just pulling something, like you were just pushing past like no resist, like a little small minor resistance thing,
like a legit trigger, just like a little bit of resistance.
Yeah. But like charged beam rifles, oh my god, I feel like I was just like it was so rough.
You gotta work out your hands.
Yeah, like I was playing the Georgia and I'm trying to do like multiple fire and I'm just like
why would you move, trigger?
Oh, it's so rough, man.
Oof.
Some may like the charged beam rifle was definitely like the worst. But melee was a little bit weird. I don't know why. There was like not as much resistance as a charged beam rifle, but still a little bit there. I don't really know why the melee has as much resistance as it does if you're just swinging a thing around. Maybe it's trying to like imitate the resistance of hitting somebody, but let me just swing my fucking melee weapon.
Yeah,
and I guess it's playing audio through the speaker on the thing as well.
Yeah, I was wondering how quick people were just going to turn that stuff off. That was my big question.
Mine was already off.
I know a lot of people apparently like it for things like Call of Duty and stuff, but I was just like, it's third-person shooter. Does it translate well? But I don't know.
Well, I just feel it for those people who actually use guns and they like the feel of them or something like that, I guess. It's just meant to create the realism there. But, you know, for me, like sweaty internet RPG gamer nerd guy, like I don't give a F. So I'm just like, okay, give me my no resistance back, please.
Yeah.
it's like right now I would probably turn off the speaker audio just because I have my mic and I don't need double feedback or whatever. And the haptic inputs just because it's like you're using a new controller with that. So that's it's just a little bit weird. And I guess I'll remind people too, because I'm using a new controller, so it's like whatever. But if you're still using a PS4 controller, people have been telling me that the PS5 version only uses the DualSense. So if you were using the old controller still, but you have a PlayStation 5, you would not be able to use that with the client if you update. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll see. Personally, I don't really notice a difference having been playing the PS4 version on the PS5 version. So maybe this one's just a tad bit more optimized or whatever. But it feels about the same.
I was gonna say they what I got up here right now, improved frame rate. I'm like, can I get any more improved than what I've already been watching people play? I'm just saying.
Yeah, like when I was talking about it, I was just like, well, shit, the frame rate's already much better on the PS4 client. How's it gonna get any more? But I might just have untrained eyes. I can't see the frames.
My brand.
Yeah, one frame. Yeah, one frame more. Specialized.
Yeah. It went from 34 to like 35 or whatever.
Cool. But yeah. Anything else with the PS5 version? And we covered the connection issues. So
PS5 NA client gets to play the video game unlike the PS4 scrubs. Woo! Maybe.
Still has some issues.
Big maybe.
Just be careful
Big
with that
maybe.
one.
At least until they try to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the JP client ready to go just in case.
But okay, so at the bottom of this, I guess we'll go ahead and move into that. They added some voice actor stuff. So, yeah, what do we think about the English voice actor?
That's pretty good.
Meh. Tenda's like an adult child. It's just weird, man.
I was expecting him to be like subs only.
Calling the police.
So yeah,
like somebody put it in a really good way. Like Carrie, they're like, dude, Tenda sounds older than Carrie does in English. Like, oh shit, you're right.
Gonna have to listen to it.
Like you go to Tenda's like, hi pilots, and you go to Carrie's like, hi pilots, and you go up to Tenda, she's like, what's up, man? Hey dude, what's up? Like, oh god, Tenda, what happened?
Tenda, oh wait. And then the funny thing is, you go to the clan guy, and he's like, "This is the clan counter," and I'm like,
he literally has like 2 lines though. What do you expect?
Well, I mean, like, no. I mean, like the voice though. I'd expect that to be more Neidhart, and then you go to Neidhart, and he's like,
Neidhart kind of biffed it too.
"Hey,
to be honest.
here's your rewards," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you don't sound like what you should sound like in my brain. This does not compute."
What happened to my dad? He used to be, oh shit.
Yeah, right. At the end of the game, I haven't had a close.
Where did
game
my
yet.
dad go?
I want to hear him freak out at the like
It's like,
at the end of the game. I still haven't heard that, so I want to see what he says. But yeah, let's see.
Leona didn't sound bad. I like Leona.
Yeah, Leona.
They did a good job on
Oh my
Leona.
gosh, Katarina. Oh my gosh.
Katarina sounds really funny when you do the rolls.
Welcome to our
She
famous
drops the whole sultry thing and is just like way too hype. It's like, are you sure this is the same voice actress?
Okay.
What's going on
I didn't
here?
do any spins.
This is our famous lottery.
I just heard she was just
This
being
is
sexy.
Go. Like, yay. Like, no.
It's time for a spin. Here comes the crate. Oh, it is deploying, and we've got. And I'm like, okay, please no. You're way
Oh
too,
my god, is that really what she does during the
yeah,
polls?
like
Stop talking.
like yeah, it's just like I'm just like, no, stop. Your voice is killing me too much. Too much.
I have to suffer through all these weapons I'm gonna get like now.
I think
you're talking to me too.
I'm glad one of us is excited.
yeah, like I'm like, this is gonna be another weapon. This is a Medea. Calm down. Like I really
Magnum is
wanna know.
coming. Here it comes. It's on the way. You add this one to your weapon stores.
Just like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well,
I
we'll
thought the
see who's
Dahlia.
at it.
Dahlia
yeah,
seemed
the
like kind
Dahlia.
of whatever.
I feel like
Patrick
the
sounded like an
voice
old
actor
guy.
for Dahlia like looked at the character, looked at the original lines, and was like, you know what? Fuck you guys. It was just like, I'm playing this character straight, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Now I will say, Curtis is, yes. He's just like, he's old man, like, hey, how's it going, youngin?
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
yeah,
nailed it.
Curtis, that's pretty swish. Let's go. I'm like, yeah, woo!
Give him more lines. He needs to have holiday lines.
And then, yeah, I want him as an operator now. Let's go. But like, I think Carrie for Leona. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, don't forget Coda, guys. Everybody forgets.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. I've had him now as my operator because like I just can't have Neidhart as my operator right now because I'm just like the voice. No, it doesn't compute in my head.
Him and Carrie are like very, very boring as operators.
Oh yeah,
they really play both of them straight laced for the English stuff, and I'm just like, ugh.
like they're like artillery incoming. That artillery was very ineffective. I'm like, yes. Stop telling me I suck, please. Anyway, your mobile
appear to be
suit
wasting
has,
too much time calling in airstrikes and should be in your mobile suit helping your team.
your mobile
That
suit
was
has
really
been
on the
destroyed.
nose there. Hold up.
Your mobile suit
What are you
has been
doing messing
destroyed,
around out
scrub.
there with artillery?
I just want
You
one.
appear of sortied in the Faz. Did you mean to use the C1?
Hey,
First
Hey.
minute bomb plant. What are you doing? I hope your team's okay.
Let us record some audio lines for this.
Oh my god. That would be hilarious, and I'm kind of surprised Mban hasn't done it with you actually being able to have like custom operators and you can just do like voice clips. Probably just because people would put like dumb offensive shit, but like that'd be hilarious.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's like, see, this is what I want. I want to be able to just
Stop
make
overcosting, you twat.
see, I want to do like, okay, your suit's dead, you scrub. Get good. That's gonna be that's the Magnus operator.
Gotta download the Magnum pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
The operator.
I think mine would be like, we might all be aware of your suit has been destroyed.
Every time something goes down, it's just like intensify.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
Magnum has special lines when you spawn at a Dom barrage. Lead the front line with your Dom barrage. Intensify.
Intensify that barrage. Yes.
Get closer. You need to hit them with bullets.
Yeah. You need to fire in melee range. Go, go, go.
It's secret stealth option. You fire at melee range and you're a support, they'll never notice for some reason.
Beam into missiles. Trust me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
There's
missiles can't miss if you're in their face.
the funny thing is, I will say though, Emblem, every time you've like done one of the your reviewing games, like stream things,
Oh.
I'm just like, here's one of mine, and you're just like, how? How is he standing? There's three guys. Look at it. He's killing you. How do you not? Why are they not doing anything? The raid passed you up. What's going on? So yeah, there's
Because
Yeah,
it's
man,
a
they're all-
barrage, man. It's that fucking Vulcan fallacy. Whenever something's low or you don't think it's worth your time, you either half-ass the offense or you just ignore it.
I guess.
I mean, I feel you there. I had it happen in the Zoc in our community matches like the week before. I was on like 233 HP for the entire match. And nobody went to finish me off. And then one of the guys in chat was like, I just thought you were at full health, so I never went over there. And I was like, hey. So I feel
It's the opposite. That's just fear. Like, no, I don't want to.
I was hitting a lot of photon mazes that match, so I feel you.
Hey, there we go. First tangent. Yeah.
Oh god, Eyezack.
We've been doing pretty good.
Military
The
base. Let's go.
GameStop talking
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
a fan.
I definitely want to talk about the Eyezack when we get to buffs because there should have been a nerf. But anyway,
No,
we'll talk
absolutely.
about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Oh god, the idea of nerfing the Eyezack is humorous
Let's
to me,
go.
but
What? The Eyezack is the most broken support we've got right now.
It's not though.
no,
it
it's
sucks.
not.
Dude,
No,
it
is
doesn't
not.
matter. It doesn't matter who it
It's
is.
so bad.
Play. Okay, we need to go in a game. You will never touch me unless there is an unless, because like if you're just stomping.
Unless your team decides to not help you out.
No, I don't care if they help me or not. Like,
or you ping
the
the
only
map
time-
and then they all
if I'm
go
literally
after
the
the
only one
targets you just
alive-
lit up.
if I'm the only one who's alive and you've literally your entire team's still up, of course I'm going to get slaughtered. But the thing is, if it's a balanced fight, you know, and everybody's kind of plinking back and forth, it doesn't matter if it's with randos or anybody. If I want the raid to not get on me, they're never going to touch me that game. Like the only times I ever die in just games that I'm playing with that suit is because I've ran up to the raid and meleeed them in the back, being like, "Ha ha, get wrecked, bro. You don't know where I'm at. I'm a stealth suit." Like, you know where the raid is at all times. You can always position. You have like 70 thrust. You can boost across most map. You could boost halfway across the new map even. Like, the mobility of the Eyezack is dumb. You always know where the raid is. They don't know where you are unless there's one on your team, which is why you got to run two. Otherwise, you got to have one on both teams. If you're not running one and the other team is, the advantage that they have is huge, and the damage is just gross for its base damage. Like, I'm hitting 100k just about every game with like that, so I'm still hitting top damage. I'm also giving 3% damage increase when I identify something. I said we weren't going to go into this right now. I got started.
All he had to do was tell you that it was bad, and this all it took. the fucking tilt.
But like,
let's go.
But so the thing is, and then so you just provide extra damage for randos. They know who to go after, and if you're assuming they're gonna like YOLO in after them, then you just position accordingly, and just it's the easiest suit to play smart with. Like, that's the biggest problem. There's a lot of people who complain like the raid just gets on me and I die. This suit, the raid won't get on you because you can just be a stealth suit and you're anti-stealth and anti-jamming, so you can jam and you get rid of everybody's stealth and jamming, and you also have like the best stealth at that cost. Like, what? It needs to either lose some mobility, it needs to lose some damage, or it needs to lose its stealth, and then it would be balanced. But right now it has way too much going for it. It has so much utility, it's insane. So even gaining a little bit of damage from another suit isn't enough to offset just not being able to get killed by a raid and being able to live the entire game. Like, that's broken.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, at the end of the day, like, preference definitely is a big deal, and if it's working for you, it's working for you. I personally think there are just suits that could probably do that and are probably better at it, like the Hildolfer or try to think. It's Scotch range is what is it 400 450 or is it 450
450, yeah.
I think it's
Hildolfer's still solid. There's a reason why it's been nerfed 50 times. Like, crazy. So yeah, it's still good.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It just with suits like that existing, like I kind of still view the camera thing as just like an upgraded version of is Data Link the one that just shows the health bars? Or is that the one that shows pilots? Whichever one it is.
Data Link shows health bars. The other thing though with the camera thing too is, again, 3% damage is nothing to just. It's literally a part to everybody on your team. It's literally like a 1.5 program insert melee or firing program. So yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I still value traditional support stuff. Personally, I don't value that damage increase. I think as much as you do. I'd rather have a support that is a bit more, for me, feels a bit more consistent. Like in most cases, just once you get a good enough feel for the map, even if you don't have the portraits, if you can see the health bars, most players kind of have a good idea of what suits are where, just kind of based on lanes and what they're playing. You know, like if someone's kind of hanging out, like I've had plenty of times where like, oh, that's probably the support. And it's either the support or it's like a full armor Gundam, full armor Gundam ground type or something like that. So like in my case, I can't say I haven't had games where it's been there. It's like, oh well, it's that guy right there or whatever. It hasn't been nice, but I don't know. I think for me, I'd still rather have the other ones. Like if they release a later version, like I remember when we first talked about it, I was like, this one might not be as good, but maybe the Eyezack third rendition of that style of suit comes out. Um, you know, when they're gonna release the Eye Mudrock,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Like it's just a Mudrock, but it has a pizza dish on its head. And it can ping and do the same stuff, but it has the Mudrock's moveset. Like that's the Eyezack I want to see. I
I
guess
mean,
is more of my problem with the suit.
if anything has
I
more
don't even need the
damage,
damage buff. Like get rid of the damage
Just
buff
straight
and
up
just
just
let
an
it do the
Isaac
same stuff.
cannon.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
like
much. Where's the Eyezack cannon?
I mean, the thing is too is again, it has so much utility with the raid not being able to get on you. I'm really curious to see what would be the case if you could do that, and then also just you didn't have stealth though, because I'm pretty sure like a Mudrock one might not have stealth, and if they do that, right? So if they bring
At
out
the
one
same
that
time,
doesn't have
too,
stealth,
like when you're docking down though, your stealth is gone anyway. So depending on how hard you're going, you don't have stealth most of the time anyway, right?
yeah. But I mean, the fact is you can still use it, so I can just boost away and then I'm stealth, and like I juke raids all the time. Like
Hmm.
the ability to juke on with that suit is just gross. So unless
Yeah,
they're
I mean, I feel you.
if I go around a building, by the time they get there, I'm already moving somewhere else, and I mean that's the thing. Like positioning with that suit is just so easy to do. So if you already have
Hmm.
any good, if you have good awareness skills and good positioning skills, then this suit's broken. So I mean that's arguably what a lot of people don't have in the first place. But I mean that's where I thrive is those two things. So like that's why I'm like this suit's completely broken and needs a nerf because there's no way I should be playing anything else right now.
I just
I
don't
feels
see
like
them
it's
ever
just
doing
it
that.
makes it a good specialty suit and not a good meta suit.
I don't know. I
I feel
still
you
think
there.
it's the like as far as a S tier suit, it is the best support we have at 400 and 450.
I think for players that like the machine gun play style, it's a good support for them. I mean, you like the Dawn Barrage. This has a similar thing with it because it uses the machine gun as well. Um, I don't know. Because I know I said in the past, like for machine gun play, especially if you're doing it, like if you're going into like high level with it, you've really got to be good if you're spacing and stuff like that. So maybe just with that, you've got it down and it works for you, and you can keep the people off. I personally have gone up against Isaacs, and most of the time it's just because they took my picture and one of the blues shows up and makes it a 2v1. It's really awkward. But I mean, I've had cases where like they've distracted me long enough for one of their teammates to show up because they're just kind of zoning me out until somebody actually like falls back. So I mean, there's that. I don't know. I personally still say I can't value the suit at all. And I think like in regards to them nerfing it, just based on the way that they nerf suits in the game, I would love to see the stats. Like I doubt the suits, breaking above average. Like if it's not meeting average, which I personally would be surprised. I doubt it's above the win average. Against the
Well,
support average of wins
I
personally.
mean, as of right now, I'll see people rage if you don't select one. Like there will be people if somebody
I've
has
never
one,
seen that.
if somebody has one and then there's another support and the guy who has one changes, people will literally just be like, "Who will go support?" in the chat. I've seen that pop up a lot
Hmm.
because
It
sometimes
might
I'll
just
be
because I'm
like,
not playing at that cost as much either. But I've never seen that. Like I know people want grief if you play one, and maybe that just means people like it enough. Because I feel like there's definitely like a toss up. You either hate it or you love it. So there is that.
I mean, again, personally, I mean, like I think that it is objectively on paper, in execution, and everything, the best support. Like, yeah, I literally in every regard, I think it's the best. So because it has great damage, and again, yeah. But I will say though, there are still some other options. You can still pull off some wins, but it's I don't know. It's easy game in that suit. I actually I guess let's put it this way too. You said the numbers you would say would be below. I'd say they'd be close to like the only reason why they would be close to average is because there's so many people playing it. Like in just about every 400 game, there's always
I can
one.
definitely put you there if a lot of people are running it.
Yeah, there's always just about always one in every game I play. So that means every time there's a win, there's going to be one that's losing. So I'd say it's probably very close in that case. But if it was the case where there was still a lot more of everything else being run too, to kind of go against it, like in games where there isn't one, I would bet it's got 60 to 70% win rate against a team that doesn't have one. I would bet money on that.
I can't agree with that. I would bet against you in a heartbeat. I just don't think that's the case. I think against if we're going against two teams that are good at what they're doing, I think the team with the other support, like if it was like a Mud Rock or something like that, I think they would have the edge, hands down. But we have no, I don't know, like
I think this is good. I think this is good. I think this is pretty cool. Like because like I don't know, I haven't seen too many people contest that it's bad, so I'm really curious in hearing this.
That's interesting. I've seen a lot of people say it's bad. Like I said, I feel like it's you either hate it or you love it. But I've seen a good bit of both.
Now I will say one thing you definitely need to get good at if you are going to play it is throwing those grenades. Go practice in a training because grenades, that'll increase your damage. I mean that's like 2,000 to like 4,000 if you hit multiple targets. You know that goes from like around 2,000 damage, and then just multiply that per target you hit. So that can be some really good damage. But okay, anyway, I will probably link back and reference this if I don't do a timestamp when we get to the buffs thing, because like I said, I think it needs to lose one of its utility options, either like 20% damage, like the stealth or some speed. Anyway.
I mean, the utility that it loses is its range.
Yeah, I think that would make this suit like even more unplayable than it is. I think it would disappear completely if they changed that.
I mean, I would actually play something else other than it.
If anything, they should just give it a
because your
and
suit
get
would
it
be
over
bad
with.
at that point, Magnum.
I think it would be
Like
balanced at that point.
Worse.
It's a bad robot.
Anyway,
yeah, that would make it unplayable. Like, and I personally think it already is. So, like, that'd be rough. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah. Sorry.
Give it a shoulder cannon.
There we go. Agreed. Give it an instant stun because that fixes all of our problems, right?
I mean, the BR does it, but it's the output on it just because of the base damage isn't super great. Not to mention the downtime between shots because of that BR not being super great to be right out of the gate.
By the way, any other random voice actor things? I think we pretty much covered them.
Oh, none of them I recognize except for like maybe one, and I forget what roles he even does. So
I think I kind of recognize.
Back on JP.
I think I kind of recognize Katarina, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. They all sound like a lot of hard R white girls to me. So
I hate the English voice acting they get. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played Neptunia game in English. Like,
oh lord,
oh my gosh,
it's so painful, man.
Oh, by the way, the if you got MB on and you have the hollow actor or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm like,
you know what?
Like,
I did one with her, and she doesn't sound as bad as you were saying. She
Dude,
doesn't sound like
emergency
emergency food.
Yeah, she's too
she
high
doesn't
pitched.
Sound like emergency food.
She's too much, man. That's too much.
Emergency food actually maintains that high voice all the fucking time to an obnoxious degree.
Okay, so I only listen to her. I'll actually play with her one game when I play Space after this to actually fully listen to her, because all I did was like change her in the options and then back out, and she's just like, whatever options you got, it's okay. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
He's like, I'm not going to jail. Nope, not going to jail.
So, anyway, but yeah. Next on the list of stuff, let's go ahead and go through the lottery, ticket shop stuff, and DP store. Okay. What we got? First of all, we got the level 3 Striker Custom, which is kind of terrifying. What do we think about that getting a, what is that? Wait, no, that's 550? Yeah, 550? I mean, at this point, we got the Jarja and the Bawu, so...
Yeah.
Honestly, I think those are easier to use.
Kind of suffering it? Nah, I mean, it was still kind of viable at, it's still fine at 500, but, 550 is kind of getting there. Because the Jarja does what it does with less weapons.
And no time limit either.
Mm-hmm. It has all of its performance all the time.
Oh, we also got the, just on a side note, the cosmetics they added. ID tag Marine 1 and the Navy hat, winter hat.
Yeah, the fish hook thing is new, but the hat's an older one.
Yeah.
They give that one off during the assault gun tank, I think.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Fish hook I actually got. It's pretty neat. Referential to that pilot from Double Zeta, I'm pretty sure, so. They knew where it was supposed to be from, they just didn't name it right.
So yeah, Striker Custom. I mean, it's still a solid suit. Still gonna be up there. So if you get it, cool. But Bawu and Jarja, I think, are gonna be the two above it.
It's not bad. Like, sometimes that burst of speed and the extra dodge roll is relevant. It's not a bad option in like Arctic or something like that, where like you kind of just need that flash of glory to do what you need to. Because I will say in Demon Blade, you have way more boost. You have a ton of boost for years, man.
Yeah, that's insane when that happens. And then you got the double dodge roll.
Mm-hmm. I'd say in that way, if we're talking about other suits, then it definitely beats them in pursuit when it's actually popped. But it's also the question of what do you do after you run out? Which the answer is not a lot.
Life is pain.
Yeah.
You just cry a little bit. I don't know. I had one good match. Well, we lost. I can't say it was good, but it was funny because like I was into Striker Custom and I guess like they just wrote me off because my stuff was gone and the support was on top. It was a Mudrock or something. No, it was a Nemo or whatever, but it was on top raised platforms and like they just kind of like disregarded me and I like boosted up and I had no legs or anything. So I just like boosted up, got to the next platform, fell over and whatever. And the generals are all like fighting and stuff. And like while I was boosting, like I literally had generals running past me, just ignoring me. So like I get up there, they're still fighting, and I'm like, okay, this is still going on. So I boost up to the ledge where the support is, and I guess he's in a scope or whatever, but he's just crouched shooting at things, and I get up to the top and and I just like repair my legs a little bit. It's like, okay, I can walk now. And then I get back in my suit, and he's just like and I just like shoot the guy and knuckle him and then just like kill him. And I was like, okay. And I was like, went down there and died, but just like sometimes having the demon blade end and having all your stuff broken might be that Magnum level of camouflage you need.
I mean,
that guy was just like getting in there. I had time to like, I could have walked out and used the bathroom and come back, and he probably wouldn't even have done anything to me, man.
I had that happen with the space type, with the Pale Rider space, and like Hades ran out, and I was just like, no, and they're just like, oh, he can't aim, you know, because you have to like perfectly aim with the Gatling at that point. But the thing is, my teammates were staggering people and knocking them down, so I'm just like, zoom in, okay, there we go, brrr, you know, and just like straight up, just DACA at people, and I'm like, well, this is working while the fights, and they just ignored me because I'm sparking and moving at no speed at all, and it was
You're also
hilarious.
doing reduced damage because your head was broken. So I mean,
Oh,
there's that too.
oh man, didn't think about that. Good call on that. Anyway, then finally, everything was dead, so I got out to repair a little bit, and then of course I was pretty low too, so I wasn't low enough to kill though. That was the thing. So they're just like, he's got nothing. He's easy to handle later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the you mentioned the punch though. That punch does insane damage, so that it still has that going for it too. If you get
Right.
that punch, it's gross. But yeah, still a good suit if you get it cool. Anything else with that?
This should be interesting. If you don't have the Zoc or the Jarja or the the Zoc, if you don't have the Jarja or the Awu, the Striker custom isn't the worst raid to have.
I feel like where that Zoc came from, you're like, yeah, punching the Zoc. Oh my gosh, yes. But anyway, the that really hurts. I do love punching them over the head with the Zoc. But so real quick, the premium stuff. We'll go ahead and cover this too in this little section. The 7th Gundam level 1 is the first thing for the premium login bonuses for February. I still think that suit needs a buff. I got the level 3 gun, tried it at level 3. I was crying the entire game. It was cool. It did some more damage than usual, but still was rough. The Desert Goog is the second period suit that they're giving out. So that's kind of cool. Tried it again after you mentioned your combo in it, Emblem, and that was pretty nice. Definitely felt pretty good.
Which combo?
Like the whole actually adding the rotation in with the stagger and then doing the knee stagger kind of thing and getting your full melee in.
Oh, you're talking about the Desert
Yeah, the
Gogu?
Desert Goog, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I personally just feel like you can't kill if you don't maximize your output by leading to Sturmfaust.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we have, and this is what I'm hyped for, the Easy 8 weapons rack, pretty much for the third period. So for the most part, that'll be essentially free to get. So kind of nice. Collect those boxes. Do your box grind. But yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, Easy 8 weapons rack. That's definitely a good suit. I don't have it yet. I want it. So that's pretty nice. You guys don't have anything else on that. We'll go back to the ticket shop stuff. And this ticket shop week is what? I know.
We're talking about the Easy 8. I was muted because the train's passing by, but we were talking about the Easy 8 weapon rack, so I know.
Oh, the train was also getting in there with that. I know.
Yeah, the train marries Ina all night long, baby.
Oh man. But yeah, so in the ticket shop, if you don't have it and you want the best general support there is, the support general, whatever, full armor Gundam ground type. It can base cheese hard too. Yeah, it does good damage. It's crazy, and it's only 180 tickets for level 1. I got that.
Would recommend
Instantly as soon as I
What
saw
a
that.
deal!
And then the
it's
level
one
2,
of the best supports in the game.
And the level 2 is 210 tickets, so not bad. Then I also got the Pell Rider Space level 3 because I didn't have that. But also, if you want the heavy arms, it's also got the level 3 in there. And they're like close to 300 tickets. I can't remember if it was like 385 or if it was like 285, but somewhere around there. So, if you like those suits, the good news is you can buy both those in the ticket shop and try them out. Or in the DP store, rather. Sorry. But they're in the ticket shop now. What do you guys think of those suits overall? I think we kind of covered the full armor, but if we want to gush any more about it, then yeah.
Had a pretty good match in Arctic Base with it before the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, any thoughts on that or the Pell Riders, Gustav?
Pale Riders are fine. Definitely try to go for that full armor though.
Well, we'll talk about it later, but they buffed Pale Riders, so
Yeah, heavy arms.
There's
I know
a
it
reason.
was already pretty
for that.
solid beforehand too. So
Yeah, it's
Pale Riders
BB.
Pale Riders in particular. If you guys are doing the clan matches, got in there a lot more than I thought they were going to initially. Because I feel like in like regular rated, you see one or two, but they've become a lot more common recently, and definitely with the buffs, I think they're gonna stick a lot more. I mean, the space type, regardless, was always gonna be running space. It's a space only. It's got the Gatling. It's got a lot of the other stuff going on with it. So yeah, if you haven't gotten it already, just try to snap it up.
And it's 500 in space, so there's not too much that I would run at 500 over this for general. And the DP store though this week is big. You don't have it. The MLRS. Let's go. And the big Zoc.
Big boys in the house.
So yeah, the
Is
Zoc.
there actually a Zoc?
Yeah, there's a Zoc and an MLRS.
Yeah. Both level 1.
Both level 1, yep. So I was kind of hoping the level 2 would be in there. I still haven't seen the level 2 Zoc in the ticket shop since I got it, and then I didn't save, so it didn't save to my account, so then I lost getting the Zoc level 2 from the ticket shop.
No.
Oof.
But anyway, MLRS though, pretty much best support at 550. There it is. If you don't have it, there you go. Have fun. Bully.
Yeah, definitely a no-brainer if you got the DP.
That downswing is dumb. You'll beat melee priority 3 somehow. Sorry, Emblem. I know I've downswung at him, and he's just like, how? And I'm like, I don't know. It's the shield.
Dude, it happens all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I've had mud rocks like swing through my Jarja swings and just like slap me out of the way. Lag sucks.
Oh yeah, I had that with the Goof today. I had a desert GM like swing at me, and I'm just like smack, with that neutral, and the downswing hit me, and I got knocked over, but I already damaged. So I was like, yeah, there's 2,500 damage, get wrecked, and then all of a sudden, and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, did it get staggered? I don't even know if it got staggered either, and I'm just like, I'm on the ground, and it's just like, ow, that hurt, but I'm gonna run away. And I'm just like, really? But
just laying on your back, like, what do you mean, eh?
Let's see, but yeah, Zoc. Zoc is fun. Zoc is kind of a meme, though. I have to admit, as much as I love playing it, I will say though there is something really cool. So you can't be countered. You can only be knocked over. So if the raid is coming at you, you're gonna take a big chunk of damage if they decide to tackle. But a lot of raids won't, and you can just be like,
go for the downswing.
Smack. Well, no, you just straight up just neutral, and you'll punch them in the head, and it has so much reach that you can just knock a raid over several times before they decide to tackle you, and then they'll finally knock you over. And depending on who they are, if it's definitely not something that just insta kills you afterwards, then which is most of them. But if they're not, then you can do that a couple of times. Hopefully somebody comes to help.
I mean, definitely keep that in mind and be careful with the neutral, because depending on the reach and the speed of whatever it is they hit you with, you're probably going to trade that damage because they're going to have that priority go through anyway.
Oh, that's the thing. Every time I swing, even when it seems to be connection is in their advantage, I've knocked them over before their swing hits me sometimes. Now, sometimes they'll clip because it's overhead, like you punch them in the head kind of thing, and you don't actually touch their melee weapon. So, a lot of times I won't end up taking the damage. I didn't end up clipping that one, but I can't remember who it was when we were playing those customs. I just remember you guys were laughing a lot at that one, where I like punched whoever it was in like the striker custom, like knocked him down like 3 or 4 times, and then
I think you were bullying. Well, we'll keep the players in honor.
But yeah, I was just straight up. I was Zoc, and I was like, "Oh, you're approaching me, smack. Oh, you're still approaching me, smack." It was a lot of fun. But
Oh, that was rough.
like that's pretty much my example of what I'm talking about in practice. And then they just started tackling me the next game, which just put me on the ground, and they would chunk me for most of my health or all of it. So, but yeah, that's if they don't tackle, you could definitely do some shenanigans with that suit. But and how many raids actually tackle when they're going to bully a support? I mean, they're really just gonna like just melee you and clean up half the time.
I mean, I will say, going to supports, most of the time the raids are just as Chad as the generals are like, support.
Yeah, that melee
you know,
hubris. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
For real.
And what a lot of the, I guess, the ones will do, because since you are big, and if they, you know, they think you're gonna tackle them, so the thing is they'll just kind of try to bait that out. And some of them I'll see try to go around me so that they can melee without me getting a counter. And a lot of times I just punch them before they can do that, and they're just like, "Oh, well that hurt." Well, no, it didn't hurt, but they're laying on the ground at least. So you got some time to scoot away very slowly, but you can scoot a little bit.
Watch him scoot. Witness the scooting.
But yeah, anything else with the Zoc and MLRS?
Get the Malars.
Yeah,
Yes,
get the Malars. If you're feeling cheeky, get the Zoc too.
Sumo Zoc. Let's go.
One's a meta death trap, and the other one's also high powered, just meme machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add this here just because I think it's funny. In the fixes and stuff, I didn't really see anything in the fixes that looked like a actual balance thing or anything that was too crazy. There's a giant list here. But the funny one was, in the game would sometimes stop when custom parts were equipped in a certain way. So yeah, that was a thing.
If you're watching it live, you won't see this, so I'll just say it. But for those of you on YouTube, you'll actually Magnum will actually edit in a clip from the show. But Theo, why don't you move?
Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, probably we could get in trouble. Who knows? Just have no audio.
Just voice
I know,
over
the Asian
the
YouTubers do it all
footage.
the time.
I mean, you could do it. You just won't be able to monetize the video when
I
you
mean,
actually are able to monetize the video.
Yeah,
that's all.
We're not there yet anyway. So
Yeah.
But at the same time though, that also is a little bit more work than.
Yeah, it's extra work for Magnum.
I'm gonna be lazy, man.
Oh, word. I hear that.
Straight from Twitch if I can, until the stream breaks. But anyway, yeah. So there's those. Let's see, what else do we got? Because I think there's one topic I didn't put up that we definitely need to talk about. Because then we're going into the patch notes. Covered that. And okay, we got that. Cool. So the penalty thing though is one I didn't put up for a listed thing. And so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about rating related and the penalty related stuff. And then we can also talk about the sortie preparation. Actually, let's go ahead and go over these real quick because they're nice and quick and just kind of an extra thing. So apparently when you're inviting now, it's quicker and you can just do it from in-game and there's no really going to the PlayStation menu, supposedly. I haven't really invited anybody yet. Say it again?
I would say I haven't had a chance to play it yet, actually.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either. So, and then they changed how the
I
monthly
PS5. Did they change it for both clients too?
After the change, selecting players and sending an invitation via PS4 and PS5 system functions, both PS4 and PS5 versions. So,
sorry, I see PS4 as a peasant console now. Poor Station 4.
Oh no! Oh no! Peasant
Oh no!
Premier
Station 4. Oh no!
Premier Station 5.
Premier Station 5 and Peasant Station 4. Oh no!
Good old Poverty Station 4.
Yes, we are mere peasants over here.
Oh, you did not have to wait in line for 12 hours. I pay a 5 times markup.
Oh no!
Oh my! I thought you bought GameStop, Magnum.
Yeah, I'm not paying a markup. I'm just gonna, and I'll just wait till one shows up at my door.
I'll just wait with my lack of money. Yes.
Well, right now I do have we have the tech money. We do have it right now. I just gotta find one that I don't have to
Yeah,
wait
I mean,
7 years for.
at the end of the day, like, I'll just wait can very quickly just translate to I'm just too broke to get the markups. That's where I'm at for sure.
I wouldn't want to pay for a markup either, though. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't want
feel
to.
even if I had the money, if I had a loose income, I would just wouldn't want to pay for that on principle, man. Like screw those scalpers.
Exactly. But also mission related. They changed how they looked. Is pretty much it, depending on which one it is, limited or whatever. So that's cool, I guess. Also on the scalper thing, apparently the next wave of PlayStations that just got released, they got like 1,000 to 2,000 of them or something like that. Just like, really? Come on, man.
Yeah, they're not stopping it because every time they try to do a countermeasure, they just circumvent it, and it's just like whatever.
Yep.
Back to square one.
Okay, so going through that and talking about that definitely wasn't stalling at all. Smooth transition. Let's go. But yeah, penalty system. So what do we think about what they've done with the penalty system and what happens when you DC with your rating?
It definitely wasn't a good time for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I also don't like it.
It never was
I
going to be
personally
a good
fine
time
with
for
it.
it, though.
I mean, I don't mind the rating loss, like, but the thing is, they just need to go full rating loss. Like,
Yeah, I would like for them to peel back. It's just like when we talked about the first time when 5-day bans became a thing. You're like, why are we skipping past the thing that they should do and just making people able to play the game? Then they're like, oh, this isn't working. I guess we'll finally start giving out some rating loss for it, for rated matches. And it's just like, and it's that problem that we were talking about the last time we discussed is like now it's just like it's doubled down and everything bad is like out now and it's just really too severe. Like I
and
still support them taking away rating though. I think it's what
oh
they
yeah,
should have done at first and seeing if that reduced it.
and the fact that they're apologizing for that in their post, I mean,
This is
and that
really messed
shows
up.
that this was something they thought of, and they're just like, well, this is something that's unacceptable, so we're not going to do it. Rather than it's not building their system right, and I'm like, this has been the reason. This has been the reason the entire time. Really? No, this is like a standard thing. If you can't reconnect to a game, if you DC, it's just a loss. That's every other game that doesn't have a reconnect system that is any kind of near competitive just does a loss. That's it.
Yep.
And I mean,
at best, and this is why I'm saying this wasn't a good time for this, is that I think they recognize because they have been hard on people who are either leaving or just being toxic in general. But it's not a good time considering the state of their game. Like, we're sitting in a situation where people are like DCing beyond their control and stuff like that. I mean, at that point, the only thing you can tell them is that, well, you shouldn't have tried to play LOL on like XYZ thing or at XYZ time. But this is something that they've been dealing with for years. And they've never really resolved it because a similar thing happened when they were doing Double Zeta, on the drop itself. So,
well, the other thing too with the rating loss and just the penalty right now, the biggest problem I have with the new penalty and how it works is, so the main change they did with the penalty system is currently if you get penalty 2, it's 120 hours, and then 5 days, and then you lose.
Ban Omega Law.
Yeah, and then once it's over, you can then queue again to get rid of your penalty. And what people were doing is they found out that if they have penalty 2, they can just keep leaving without gaining any more penalty status or anything going wrong until they, start getting wins, and then they come out of it. Which just is like, and then also they just want to troll at that point, and they know they can get away with it because there's nothing else that's going to happen. So they've already probably went down the full tilt hole, and there you go. But the other thing is, say somebody had some disconnects. Now, there is the thing of if your internet is bad that day, don't play. It sucks because there's tokens you need to get. There's tokens you need to get, and I'm going to come back to this. But if your internet sucks that day, you got to not play. I mean, that's just how it is. Because if you do, you're going to get a penalty 1, and then if you end up penalty 2, and then 5 days later your internet sucks again, then you got to wait another 5 days. And then what if 5 days after that your internet decides to take a shit again, and then you got to wait another 5 days, and then another. And then there's going to be some cases where that happens with this. Like, once somebody hits that, they're pretty much not going to be able to play. And, I mean, that's pretty much what that line is after it. That was kind of funny, where I was kind of scared, which they don't mention it in this here. But they actually said something about won't Swordian rated anymore or something like that. Now, at this point, I'm definitely paraphrasing. But the words were anymore, and I was like, wait a minute. Does that mean that if people keep getting penalty 2, they're just going to like straight up ban them from playing rated, period? Which could be interesting, but I feel like that's just a bad translation kind of thing. And it was
I thought it's just poor like translation. Because I mean, if that's the case, what's the point of having the thing where they literally just make people can't play the game in total?
Yeah,
or at all. So
I think, and here's what, and I wanted to have this done before this, but I definitely didn't forget that we rescheduled Baldur's Gate for earlier today. But I wanted to make a post, and with all this other stuff going on, it kind of, so I might just wait till tomorrow. But this time, I'm definitely making this post on both Reddit and stuff, and adding them on Twitter. So if anybody wants to help, kind of like get this going, because what I think they should do is just go straight to the rating loss, because if it's on average, let's just go for A. Let's just say you're sitting in A. You lose between 10 and 14 points. That's between just the base amount and 1 to 4 in the rival. So if they wanted to say 11 or 12, I'd be fine with that, right? That somewhere around the average of what people mostly would gain and lose based on winning against a rival kind of thing, or losing against a rival, I think would be fine if they kind of did an average more like that rather than just the base. If it was just the base of 10, cool, that's fine. So whatever the base is, or plus or minus 4, or well, plus 4 to that base, plus 4 is what you would lose, somewhere around there. And then just get rid of the penalty system as it works right now. And since we have a report system, if somebody's found guilty of reporting, then put them to a caution, and then a penalty 1, and then a penalty 2, as they're getting reported and they're going through that. Or if just get rid of the caution altogether, and then you just go straight, okay, you're guilty once, penalty 1. You're guilty a second time, penalty 2. And then you just keep re-upping the penalty 2 every time the person's found guilty. And I think that would be a better system than what we've got, because right now, there's definitely going to be somebody caught in a penalty 2 loop. There will be one, for sure. There's probably going to be a few people that are actually trolling who are complaining because they then got caught in one. But there's definitely going to be 1 or 2 people, and I could think of them just because I know they're going to play because they want to play the game when their connection's bad, and they can't even go into quick match or custom match without fear of this. And that's the other problem. If you just have it to where you lose points, and then the report system takes care of the penalties, then people could go into quick matches who have bad connections, or go into custom matches who have bad connections and get their dailies done and still get their tokens, which is going to be the main driving force of either A, I want to play the game even though my internet's bad, or B, I want to get my tokens because I want to get my token. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to try to figure out a way to word that good enough, and hopefully we can get some traction on that, because this is a problem.
I guess the only problem I have with that is that most of this is also server side, because when you're hardwired and you're playing stuff just fine in other games, and this is the one that's giving you a hard time and actually having DCs and shit happen, like, that's not even just solely on that person, that's just on the client itself at that point.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that too. But
like, I would almost say it's too much of that on that side for them to actually go that hard until they have any of that resolved. And that's probably even if they don't want to admit it, that's probably the answer that they would try to dance around if they actually ever answered you at all.
And then there was that thing that happened Tuesday, that one Tuesday when the game got shut down for 2 days.
Oh yeah, that was Tuesday.
Yeah, that was
Was it Tuesday or was it into the weekend like Thursday? I forget.
No, it was a Tuesday because the next day was banner night, and then we didn't have a banner night. And then
got delayed.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it got pushed up. Okay.
Yeah. We had the podcast on like Friday or Saturday because the game came back.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna have it on Saturday, but yeah, we got lucky.
But yeah, there's my rant on that. I mean, do you think there's a better way to do it, or?
I mean, there will be a better way to do it until they have a better game.
But, I mean, I think this is pretty much what I just said. I think is a good way that they could work around it to where the bad game doesn't put people into penalties, though. It's kind of what I'm getting at. Because that's kind of more of the problem. Is both on bad internet plus compounded with bad servers equals some people getting stuck in a penalty 2 loop.
BB's local contracts with your ISP will make it to where they can't implement those changes because they're trying to make it to where they incentivize people buying better internet in order to play their video game.
Oh no,
so it'll never happen because of that, Magnum.
Imagine if they had a premium subscription that just goes coincides with your ISP.
Hang on, where's my tinfoil?
Director Kobe here. I would like to show you all our new type service that we're going to be implementing into the game.
Oh no,
our new type fiber service.
Yeah.
Let me go get my tinfoil. 1 sec.
Welcome
Are you tired of
to
getting
new
down
type.
swung from halfway across the map? Lag types dodging your shots or ignoring your knockdowns? Have you been killed by a new type ghost recently? There's be a bunch of that. Like, well, those problems will be gone once you buy a PS5 and upgrade to fiber.
Oh no.
But I don't know. Joking aside, it's kind of rough. Like, because like for me personally, from my perspective, for the most part, all I can really go off of, are the occasions where my internet goes down, and I've been put into caution. I think I was in penalty literally once. When the power went out 2 times in a row. Like when I was trying to stream or whatever, and what can you do about that, right?
Yeah.
But like for me, and I'm not saying like this is not a problem. I guess I'm more just saying like it's harder for me to kind of relate because more often than not, I don't have disconnection issues or whatever. Outside of whenever the game is just in a state of, everything on fire or whatever, they put the tarp up behind the base camp to block off all the flames that are slowly engulfing the game. It's like, don't go back there. We're doing repair work on your mobile suits. It's like that's the Battle of Oboa Ku. It's like, that's back there. Like, yes, can I go fight in that? Like, no.
No.
Go to military base. It's over there.
Military base in practice mode. Just stay there for a second.
Literally, the servers are caught on fire or something like that. But yeah. So I guess more what I'm trying to get is just like, for me, it's just like on a normal day, the game runs fine. So it's just harder for me to be like, because I'm not blind to the fact that people are gonna have connection issues. I personally think, I guess I'm gonna be an elitist inbound guy or something, but those inbound guys that don't like Wi-Fi, I mean, it could be kind of, I know people gotta do what they gotta do, and some people don't have that option or whatever, and I feel you there, but at the same time, man, you're taking your risk.
Well, I mean, that's like, that's kind of what I'm, when there is the server side problems, but when it comes to your internet and stuff, that's like back when I played on my awesome like 3 down 1 up internet, before I got this awesome faster internet, yeah, it was like in League of Legends I would DC every now and then, and it was just one of those things, like you take the risk, if you're trying to climb to diamond and you DC every now and then, that's just part of it. You might get a lever penalty every now and then, and if it happens, I mean, that was just risk I took, and I knew it. And the thing is, I had to accept that, and that was, my internet's trash, so I just gotta deal with it, right? And yeah, so there's that part of it. And then what Gustav was talking about though, where it, there is the server issues. That is kind of a problem, and that just compounds it. But I've been there, and I know the DCing thing, and it is frustrating. But you gotta not tilt, and you gotta deal with just not playing for a day sometimes. It happens, and
I
it
feel you
sucks.
there.
So
I remember playing Diablo 1 and StarCraft, and I would hate it when the phone
yeah.
started ringing.
Oh my gosh!
Dial up, no.
No! Yeah. But
I don't know.
Sorry
I
for all you
just
youngins
kind of
out there, you
refuse to
wouldn't know.
like allow that to be acceptable. Essentially, like we just need to keep
I
pushing
feel
in
ya.
that direction.
yeah,
I feel you. I'm definitely not saying like it's a good thing, but at the same time, I'm more just saying like I have a hard time relating to it. I just don't generally have those problems that some of the people with the bad connections say.
I mean, like, and normally I don't, but it's not to say that they're fictional either, right? Like, there's
Yeah,
plenty of people
right.
that we know, and especially like when we talk about high capacity times like clan matches, where it's pretty much bringing the servers down to their knees because people are like DCing left, right, and center, even when we know they usually have good bars with us.
but yeah, like I know there's sometimes where people DC, and like when we're doing clan ranked, like that's not good. There's been a couple of people had to sit out because they got put into caution. They don't want to get a penalty during the clan rank kind of thing. But for me, what I have to go through now is every now and then, the one I've been talking about is sometimes if my power goes out in the morning, which happens about at least once a week, then normally my router decides to reset for some reason, like 2 hours later, and the connection goes out, and then we're good, and until next week. Sometimes, if I miss it that morning, normally I hear the power go off when I'm sleeping, and I'll hear my printer in there start resetting everything. So I'm like, okay, well it's happened. We're safe. But the thing is, if I play in the morning and it goes out, and then 2 hours later, then I haven't played enough games, and the internet goes out, well, I'm in penalty one. That happens every now and then. So that's the risk I'm taking by playing when that happens. What I should do, not play, and then when the afternoon to evening rolls around, then I can play and it'll be just fine. But again, one of those things. It's you got to risk it for the biscuit if you want to play. It's part of it. And
I mean, it also just sounds like you have a scuffed house and a scuffed location, though. Like, if
yeah,
you're talking about raw power, that's another factor even beyond anything with the game.
yeah. I don't
Right.
know what it is with the power around here, but something's happening somewhere. It's been a thing that's been happening, I guess, for the past year now.
The bears are scratching their back on the power line again.
Could be.
So that's not a problem.
I hope not. Got my dog
The
outside.
gophers are chewing on the power lines again.
Got my dog outside, man. I don't want to have to fight a bear, but I will. But the let's see. Anyway, yeah, penalty stuff. Any final thoughts on that? Then we'll hop into the crazy list of buffs.
It's bad, penalty's good.
Oh, real quick, do we want to hop into the clan ranked stuff, or just point out that the time? You guys have anything on clan ranked?
Point out the time since we have a lot of stuff to cover too.
Yeah, so I mean it's another morning one, only it's going to be on the 6th, so it's not this weekend, it's next weekend, and it'll be 4 a.m. and it's also 350, which is interesting. We'll talk about that more at New Salt. New Salt. Yes, New Salt.
New Salt.
New suit speculation. New Salt speculation.
It might be New Salt if they don't fix the NA client by then.
I know, right? Oh, but anyway, and then after that will be the late night one. So the 6th, and then I guess that's the 13th. Be after that. But okay, so let's see. Let's get into this. So I do want to kind of cover a couple of things because I think there's some honorable mentions from last month, and we can kind of go through these. I'm just going to put buffs because there were no nerfs. And if you want to hear us talk about something that should be nerfed, in my opinion, I will either hopefully have it time stamped or go back to the end of the voice acting section. But yeah. Anyway, so last month, Rigelgu, and everything went up to about average win rate. I think I don't think there was anything that is still kind of lacking out of most of these. But yeah, if you haven't checked out the Rigelgu, I would say, and I'm just gonna kind of go through these pretty quick. So if either of you want to point out something, then go ahead and just stop me. But yeah, Rigelgu, that's pretty cool now. I think it's pretty hype. Definitely been seeing him more and seeing some cool wins. Gallus J with that 5% resist in both ballistic and beam, that definitely feels a whole lot better because it had the damage, but it definitely needs some more defense or something else. I think it's kind of close, but again, it got up to about average. Dom Tropical Test Type was gross in clan ranked after this buff happened. That was dumb. It's ridiculous. Go win. Have fun. The Alex buffs were really nice. That Gatling damage is insane now. Oshmar feels really good. I got to actually try one out. I got one. So that went up by like 5% at 600. Very nice. The raid type, the Tetra, is about the only one that's still below average. But it definitely feels really good. What do you think, Emblem?
For a Tetra?
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot nicer. I still think it's easier now for the Tetra to get in there, which is good. But I still think it has the problems because, like, you notice that the damage numbers, particularly at the higher cost, are still pretty close to what they were before.
Yeah.
It's definitely noticeable on the top end or the level 1 version, but I still think that the Tetra needs a little bit more finishing power. Because even after you get the stun off, you, unlike the Jarja or whatever else, you really can't kill the support most of the time in one like pass through. At least I feel. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but like I think if they wanted to kind of buff it up, because I mean, even in most of these cases, it's still like 2% down, almost.
Yeah.
So I think giving it more finishing ability against the supports is probably something they may end up looking at. Because I mean, even after the adjustments, they still say less than expected. So obviously that wasn't enough, but it definitely is a good step in the right direction.
Then in the support stuff, we got the Palace of Thene, which definitely feels nice now. That's pretty juicy. And then the Hama Hama showing some pretty good numbers. Kind of funny the damage went down at 600, but with that health buff though, I mean the main thing was just its main weapon, or no, the shield going to 3 seconds instead, so it's a little bit better utility. But the main thing is thrusters going up by 10, and that health is insane, putting up to, I believe it's 22,500 at 650 now, which was, yeah, that's just crazy how much health it actually has at 650. I've been seeing some pretty good play with it. People getting in there with that melee, doing pretty good with it too. It's actually pretty nice. Also, the Shrapnel Bazooka, definitely cool and a lot of fun to play with. Hits really well. But yeah, that was last month. Definitely some stuff to try out from any of those. If you haven't played those in a while or had them wrote off, they're actually looking pretty good. Okay, so moving into the new stuff, and I don't know if you got the stats pulled up for like percentages and stuff for stagger when they increase, but first one in the generals, we got Double Zeta getting a thruster increase of 15.
Oh yes.
Pretty huge.
And the double beam rifle, 5% heat rate reduced, so 55 per shot. They increase the stagger accumulation. You want to get that number ready. And they increase the power of focus fire. And then they reduce the heat rate of focus fire as well. What are we looking at for that?
So the double beam rifle, let's see. I don't know why I don't have the actual. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so it's up by 10% for each shot.
Ooh. So what is it now, though? What's the actual number?
It was 25, now it's 35 times 2.
Hey, that's not bad.
Nice.
That's like a couple of missiles
Yeah, so
after
that's a
that.
70. Yeah, it's a 70% stagger if you hit with both.
What's the focus fire heat rate now? And
It's
what's
down
the
10%,
power?
75.
Ooh, that's not bad. What about the power increase?
100.
Okay, that's pretty cool. What was it before?
The stagger value isn't different when it's fully charged, by the way. It's
Yeah.
the same.
But what's the what was the power increase before?
1600.
No, the Oh, okay, so it went up to 1700 now when it's fully charged?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Cool. Do we think that's enough, or do we think it needs a little bit more?
I'm surprised it's kind of touched on it at all, but the thrust I think was a bigger deal for me. It'll be interesting to see if anyone even kind of bothers to get in there with it, especially with it having a bigger map to mess around on. So I feel like it does have some decent range on some of its stuff.
Definitely gonna try it again, just because the it did feel kind of sluggish, and I'm like, this is faster than the Faz. Only I feel like I can get around a bit more with the Faz. So I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, because I'm doing a lot of boosting and shooting when I play Faz. So this is kind of interesting seeing this. So I'm curious though. I feel like the double beam rifle is now kind of brought into line with what the Faz stats are.
Already were, yeah.
So
which is fair. It didn't make sense for it to be like any more or less potent. So the only thing that should really be too much of a difference is just the type advantage or disadvantage that you're getting.
yeah. So this next one, unless you guys have something else for the Double Zeta, the EXS Gundam. Pretty big. 1,500 health increase up to 19,500 now. Flight control program level 2 has been added, and can you look up what that is exactly, Emblem? Or I can pull up
Yeah,
the
I've
game.
got it up already.
Okay.
I thought I did. Sorry, I was scrolling down to the actual changes. Hold on a second. I'll just go down there. I have a thing to click on it.
Okay, here, I'll go ahead and read off the rest of it. Focus fire from its main gun reduced by 1 second, so 3 seconds now. That is noticeable because that gun also pierces and it's a stagger. That is nice. That is juicy. Thank you for that buff.
I've got it ready.
And then the reflector income. They made it easier to hit, so that the line it draws essentially will try to avoid objects on the map rather than going through walls, and then it just stops at the wall, which is insanely annoying. And they also improved to make it easier to hit units. So I'm guessing there is a little bit of beam width there too. I don't know. I don't know how what that means. Maybe the final bounce actually kind of does a little predicting or something. But either way, I've missed, I think, out of like the 3 games I played with it earlier, I've only missed like maybe 4 shots out of all of them I've taken, and I've been using it quite a bit now. So it's feels good. Feels good now. I like it. But yeah, what's the level 2?
So first and foremost, you get all the benefits of level 1. Should you kind of like control yourself in the air a little bit better. let's see. But in addition to that, you can do boost movement in the air. Um, and let's see, you can also, you can control yourself like you're boosting in the air. So unlike with a jump where you're just moving straight up and have a little bit of control, you can turn and do other stuff. You do have a slow fall. The saying the boost consumption is the same up in the air as it is on the ground. Um, let's see, and apparently you can do. Apparently you can change. They're saying here, and I had to try it, but it's saying here like even if you do have a force, or even if you do not have force injection, you can use jumps and avoidance actions in the air while you're boosting around too. So
does it affect the
it's
flying
what they're
mode
saying is
at all?
say again.
Does it affect like transform flying mode at all?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
Just because like the flight thing, I don't even think the flight mode has it. Because I don't think that skill like talks.
Yeah.
I don't think those skills talk to each other.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, I thought it had something to do with flight mode. Is what I was thinking. But okay. So this is just the jumping
no,
and
it's the same
boosting
skill
around thing.
that the BB has.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah, after playing it before and after, this thing feels a whole lot better with both weapons that they increased, and I'll take as much health as they want to give it. So
Yeah, 1,500 more, reduced focus time, and I guess they improved the hitbox.
so far it feels good. Or I've just been getting really lucky, one or the other. Any extra thoughts on that one?
It'll be interesting. The XS was like, to me, one of those suits that didn't seem bad, but there was like something weird about it. And maybe this will kind of help address it some. But I never actually played it either. It's just kind of one of those things where like playing against them, just like, oh, it's an EXS. Like, it kind of hurts when I get shot by it, but it's not the scariest suit on the map either. So I don't know.
Okay, moving on to the Dija. We got 1,000 health at all levels, putting it to 18,000 at level 1. Level 3 got special leg buffer level 2. And the shrapnel bazooka that it has went up to 4 shots rather than just 3.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Kind of interesting to see what it does for the 550 version, but I don't know if that's too much of a change for the 650. I'm kind of curious to know the actual health value, because a lot of times when they get to 650, they'll actually up the health a little more than just from what like 550 to 600 does.
I'm glad you asked, Magnum, because level 1 now has 18,000 HP. Level 2 has 19,500, and level 3 has 21,000 HP.
Ah, okay. So they did it to the same ratio.
So to put it in an increase, it's 1,000 at level 1, 1,500 at level 2, and level 3 gets 2,000 more health.
Not bad. Overall, I mean, the clay bazooka thing, cool, I guess. I mean, it's another shot, so. What was the cooldown on that gun?
Hold on a second. I'm just looking at the updates. Looks like it's 5 seconds between shots. Reload time's 15 seconds.
Not too bad. I don't think that's going to be too much of a change to it, but the health is going to be nice, especially at the higher cost.
Yeah, I thought when I saw it, I thought it was interesting because I've always kind of thought that the Djo was already in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And mainly just because like it's got such good like bulk and utility built in already. Because the Djo is one of those first suits we got that's like dodge roll, maneuver armor, good primary stun, has a shotgun, stuff like that. So look at like the adjustments kind of help it out in that role, which is kind of nice. So it'll be interesting. It should be more versatile. Like the legs got a super buff, like more HP equals more leg strength, and then it got cushioning level 2. So They should be able to hold down the front like the best of them and
Cool.
be more efficient at it.
Yeah,
I would say at the higher cost, would you prefer that over the Sair?
I don't know. I've never played a Sair, and I think I just unconditionally don't like it because it doesn't have a dodge roll. Like, but it'd be hard to say. I don't. I've had toss ups of different types of fights against the SER, but most of the time, whenever I'm playing a raid at high cost and I see it and I stagger it, I'm kind of I'm licking my chops like I just staggered a support because I know it's not going to get away. So like, but I've never played the suit, and I think personally I would just be frustrated and get caught in those loops where it's just like, oh, here comes the stun maneuver armor, and I get staggered out of it anyway, and then I just kind of get caught down swung and die. And that's kind of my fear of what would happen if I played the SCR. I know a lot of people really like it and swear by the suit, but I just think I'd be frustrated. So I've never really liked the SCR just looking at it on paper.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, it's the same thing. I'm just like, hey, I staggered something that can't run away. Time to bully. Support damage, go. Yeah, I'm there with you. I know there's some people who are like, this thing's amazing, and I'm just like, well, it's dead. Seems pretty dead to me. But next on the list though, we have the Gan Eos, which is interesting that the level 2 got some buffs. I do see some level 1 still, but I'm curious to see what we'll get it, because level 2 is at 450, and this is everything and up. So I got 1,500 HP, which is a pretty big deal for sure, making it 16,500. And again, this is level 2 and 3 for all of these. The oh, hang on, here's one that is for all of it. The ballistic resist is now 16 from 13 at base. The level 2's beam resist though went up to 16 from 13, and that's at 3. And then level 2 got 5 thrusters, giving it 60, and the level 3 got 10, putting it to 65. The beam bayonet, so the melee weapon, got 100 damage from level 2 and up, and the beam gun with the beam bayonet got 75 damage, putting it to 600 per shot. So
Does it say 100 on the webpage? Because on the wiki, it's saying the beam bayonet's power was increased by 200.
yeah, it goes from 21 to 22.
It might have
on
been a
both.
typo on their part because it's saying it's going from at level 2, it's going from 2,000 to 22, or 22, 200, 2000, or 2,000 to 2,200 at level 2, and then level 3 is going from 2,200 to 24. So I wonder if they just typoed there.
Yeah, the JP patch notes also that, because that's what I went through first, was the JP ones yesterday. So pretty sure they're the same. But yeah, I don't really play this suit. I don't really find it get knocked down by it, because its downswing is just all over the place. But what do you guys think of the EOS?
I don't really see it that much.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm surprised they're touching on it, and it's probably for the best. Hopefully, it gets some more play, and we can kind of get a better verdict.
Kind of hoping this would be like the Rigogu, because I didn't really see the Rigogu hardly at all. Like every now and then I would see it, but I'd be like, oh, easy target to bully, no big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely when it first came out, it was pretty common. Like, it was in there for a good while, and then it just kind of tapered away.
Okay, so now the next one, though, this is one I'm hyped about. Kind of mentioned it earlier, but the Dwaj Custom, yeah, let's go. So real quick on the level 2, the Heat Hawk got increased by, what is that, 70 damage? So 1750 now for its damage. But the main gun that it has, and this is at both levels, got an increase. So 2,000 base damage now from 1,800. Then the heat rate was reduced from 90% to 80%. The overheat rate, so the cooldown time on it after you overheat it, is 17 seconds from 20 now. The increased bullet speed when firing. So the interesting thing is they also increased the converging fire speed. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but they also increased the power of converging fire. So, and they improved the difficulty of hitting objects on the map. Hallelujah, because I hit so many things when I'm using that. So I'm definitely hype about that one. But yeah, do we have any idea what the difference between bullet speed and converging fire speed? I thought that just for a second I was like, is that just focus time or?
So let's see. The adjustments they have on the wiki show the damage increase for the non-focused and the focused shot. The reduction in heat by 10%. The overheat time is down by 3 seconds to 17. And all it says is increased bullet speed during non-focused and focused shooting, and made it harder to hit objects on the map. And then they showed a tomahawk damage increase, but
Okay. So yeah, I
um,
guess it's just the speed of the beam on both. I don't know why they would like mention the speed of the beam and when it's doing the both of them, but what's the power
they
been
just need to
changed to?
specify. So level 1, the non-focus is up to 2,000. Level 2 is up to 2,200. Level 2 level 1 full charge is up from 24,000 to 26,050. Or sorry, 2,650. My bad. Level 2 is up from 2,520 to 2,782 in a full charge.
Ooh, that's juicy. Yes. Cool. What do we think of this suit though? We think, I mean, I'm definitely going to be trying it. I love this suit.
I think I have one level of it. I played it a few times, but um, I'm sure it'll be interesting. Um, Maybe the power increase for the tomahawk will do it up
I mean,
a
my
little bit
thing,
there, up at the plus and deeps.
yeah, that'd be pretty nice. But the beam, the pool, let's go. Just saying. Big target that has weak beam resist.
Oof.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
So
I'm surprised I don't see more of it, but it might just be that maybe it was lacking in output or something. That'd be the only reason I could think of it, like instant use, or maybe it's just hard to use. But I don't know.
It was a little
Might just not pay
unwieldy,
that cost.
and then like the gripes that I had with it are just like physical ones with the way it like holds its main gun and stuff. But having a little bit of extra leeway with its weapons and stuff now, and the extra output is definitely gonna help.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying this later. Next, we have the L Rider Heavy Arms. Let's go. So, honestly, I didn't know that its health, or I didn't remember that its health was this low. I knew it felt like Raid Squish, especially when you pop Hades, but man, it went from 12,000 health now to 13,000 health, and that's level 1 and increased at all levels. The level 1's thrusters went up to 60. The level 2's thrusters also went up to 60. I don't know why they didn't. I guess level 3 didn't get affected. Fair enough. And then the level 2's unit speed went up to 125. The triple missile pod gained 75 damage, putting it up to 550. That's level 2 and up. And the 180 millimeter cannon went up by 150 damage, and that's level 2 and up. So, pretty cool. I recently used the level 2 and was like, hey, this feels pretty good. So I'm probably going to be giving the level 2 for sure another go. I don't know about the level 3 though, but yeah.
Yeah, so the adjustments are when they're going up from 12,000 to 13,000 level 1. Went from 13,000 to 14,500 HP at level 2, and level 3 went up from 15,000 to 16,500 at level 3. The speed increase, thruster boost. Level 3's increase on the missile pod is 150 extra damage. So it went up from 500 to 600 per missile. And you mentioned a cannon power increase, level 2. Level 3 went up from 3,300 to 3,600.
Whoa,
Nice.
that's big.
I can do that.
Boom.
Big iron.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit the Night of the Change. But it's definitely very responsive. I never use the missile pod, so I can't say
Yeah.
too much about that. But yeah, I was shooting things at the cannon and doing other stuff. So, there was that.
It definitely feels like a raid that's a general. But
It feels a little bit more like that when you actually pop, but otherwise it gets a little rough. That big iron helps though, for sure.
oh yeah. Until you miss. Just like
Just like, oh, my soul.
now this
It's
next one,
interesting that they made the customs gun a little bit easier to hit with, even though like the beam seemed pretty substantial before. But I guess it kind of had the same problem, just because when you charge it, it would expend like everything. So
yeah. Yeah, that's true. And now at least you only have to wait 17 seconds. I'm pretty sure I had
Mhm.
like recharge parts in that too, so hopefully that feels a little bit better too. Now the next one I was kind of hoping they would do a little bit more with when I saw that it was on this list. But the Gelgoog Hi-Mo BG. So beam resist at all levels up by 5 to 30%. The melee resist up by 5 as well, going to 13 at all levels. Thrusters went up by 5 to 75 at all levels, and level 1 got 5 unit speed for 135, and level 2 got 5 damage for its range damage at 33%. So I feel like this suit, like there was a reason why it was picked for the suit that was given out for the team that won that tournament, and then power creep happened. What do we think of it now?
I think this is another one that I'm surprised they touched on, but it's been for the best, it seems. Especially since they're keeping the higher level one in mind too, at least for a little bit for the fire correction. I've noticed that at least on a couple of these, although some of them seem substantial, a lot of it's just coming down to raw like stat boost, but at least they're making it worth it for the offensive stuff. The speed increase is also nice. Like if they're not gonna give it because I think the VG in particular doesn't have lug buffs, right? So
Yeah.
if it's
I
not gonna
think
be
you're
able
right.
yeah, so if it's not gonna be able to like protect itself from that, it might as well be able to move a little bit faster. Like that's the least they could do for that thing.
I'm surprised they didn't get at least level 1 leg buffer. Real.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because physically is like what like buffer, right? Because it's fucking exposed. But that might have
Shit
been
that up
one
to
of
the
those
other high
things where
mobility types, right?
I was gonna say that might have been something where they should have just forewent that and just been like, it's a video game, just give it to it. It has the same problem that the other ones do, and I'm pretty sure this has force injection, so it's gonna have it even faster.
I'll say too, like I wasn't playing it a lot at first, and I still don't really do it now, but I've dabbled in it, just
Mm.
starting some of our practice and stuff. And like the kit feels good and stuff. And this take might vary kind of based on what you're saying, because I've heard people kind of say goose stop things like, I'm surprised they changed it, but I don't know. When with me playing it, like I think I thought it was nice, but I just felt like I was plinking people.
Oh yeah,
So
it definitely liked
it's only
that punch,
5%.
even though it was a good utility suit.
Hmm. So I like that they gave it more damage and made it a little bit more resilient. Because you're able to trade better, I guess, because you can not get as punished on the trades, and you're faster and able to keep up the zoning and stuff a little bit better. So I kind of like that they made the changes. To me, it's like when I saw the damage, it's like, okay, I do think we needed more damage on there, because it felt like real underwhelming for me personally. So I thought it was a good adjustment.
Um, yeah, I definitely am. I'm gonna try it at least now. I liked it when I first got it, but I don't know if I have the yeah. Wait. Level two's in the yeah. That's right. They put it in the DP store, right? Yeah, I think I'll go
Maybe I
buy
think
that.
so.
If I haven't already bought it, I think I'll go buy that and try that out for sure because I like the suit. Just I don't know. It just felt like something was off about it now compared to when they gave out that one, and I was like, dude, this thing's OP. Now it's just like pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of other stuff that crapped up around it, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's kind of made it a little less relevant.
And the next suit, because especially the sortie rate was non-existent, even at its base cost. But here we go. Raid got a big buff to one thing, and I'm loving it so far. I got a couple of games before I had to go into Baldur's Gate with it, and
Mm.
the goof, yes. So turn speed went up by 3. Cool. Level 1 got 5 speed, giving it 135, which definitely you could feel like how much faster it was. So because I got it like 140, so you're moving around pretty good. The level 1 also got thrusters up by 5 to 65. Level 2 went up to 135 as well with 65 thrusters. Level 3 also got 65 thrusters, and level 4 gained maneuver armor level 2 instead of just having maneuver armor 1. The increased firing rate to the 5-barrel finger Vulcans means you can actually stagger within a moderately okay time. Still, you pretty much have to dump the entire clip, but you can actually do that before something happens to your face. And then the heat rod, the big change here is, if you didn't know, you could downswing with the heat rod. And
What?
you pretty much never wanted to do that because it's this huge motion, and then it had a pretty small hitbox, and it was just this huge, like, I'm gonna stand here for a second afterwards, and pretty much you don't get to do you even get to somebody and melee them afterwards?
Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm trying to
if
think.
you lead with the downswing and you catch them and knock them down, and you're like on point with that cancel at the end of the long animation, maybe.
I
But
think I did it once
um,
today, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back to the replay on that one.
I mean, it's definitely the combo. People are doing the usual melee, cancel out and then do the downswing. You're essentially just holding it down. And
Yeah,
that's the kill shot right now.
yeah, you can hit them while they're on the ground, and it's good. Like the damage is crazy now. I definitely want to know what the percentage is, and they also shortened the switching time, which is really nice. But yeah, what kind of stats do we have on this thing now, percentage wise?
so let's see. We covered most of the stuff. The rate of fire was increased by 150 bullets a minute. It used to be 360, now it's 510. That's 90, I think, shy of the fire rate of the cold districts. Um, the heat rod's downswing modifier is increased to 300%. It definitely feels like 300% when you hit
Oh
people
yeah.
with it. And the switching time for the heat rod is down from 1.5 second to 0.77. So it's actually a pretty viable like swap option. It's not awkward and you're waiting for it. To put into good perspective, that's like the fast swap times that you see on the combo raids. So it's not bad.
Um. Yeah. So one thing with the downswing, I hit several times today, multiple. Well, I say several, but I mean just in like the 2 games I got. But I got multiple downswing with that heat rod on like multiple guys, which was great. Like you're hitting for on a general at level 1, you're hitting for about 3k, which is pretty big damage at 250. Especially for a raid on general, like that's pretty nice. Saying. And then the damage on a support at level 4, so which is 400. I hit for 9.7k damage on a support. That was juicy. Because somebody picked a gun cannon and a tank. And I'm just like, oh, 2 of you. Oh, you're both on the building. What's up? That was like 18,000 damage in 1 hit. It was good. Yes, please. Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan now. I think it's pretty cool. Does it beat at level 1? Does it beat like the Agri guy? Probably not, just because the initiate with the Agri guy is just so easy to do. Because you literally can just melee for free.
Mm.
And if you stagger them, you just then knock them down. And if you don't, they're tackling into you and they can't get a counter as long as you don't swing again. So, yeah.
Yeah, the fact that it's
payoff on the
only
egg guy.
like normal staggers as opposed to actual like heavy stagger with the cable is kind of rough. I wish they would have changed that.
Made it heavy, yeah.
Yeah. Then I don't know. Then at higher cost, you do have a lot more options. So there's that too. But definitely feels pretty good now. I like it. I'm definitely going to be playing it.
One thing I would like to see on the heat rod, because like especially for the downswing, you whip it out and swing down. I would personally like for them to add a little bit of extra utility to it, and maybe not even so much utility, but just like make the hitbox like while it's above the suit a little bit more real or whatever, because it's I feel like it's from the head down or whatever. If somebody's like on it, they'll hit them or whatever. But I would personally like it if and I'm not saying they need to be like on the ground level at port base hitting people on top of warehouses, but like say I'm in like city map and I'm below the slanted building or something, and the support is like a little bit above me, and I want to be able to like downswing at them and be able to like hit them a little bit easier with the heat rod, because I'm doing like an overhand swing with the heat rod while they're above me.
Today I had, so on that building, it's the port base building where the big tall one, and it has that one little ledge, and then there's the top part of it. I was on the ledge and I downswung somebody that was kind of in the middle of that corner. So they were on a corner. I was on just the side of the building, and I downswung and hit him up there. So
I'd have to see it. I can't picture exactly what you're like the situation you're putting out for me, unfortunately.
I think it's
where is it?
If you go to the picture, I don't think oh wait, I do have this page up. It's the building in that bottom right picture of the military base that they have on when new map unlocked military base. And you go to the bottom right picture. It's that ledge on that building that's in that picture. So yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd have to pull it up. I don't have that open.
I've got it up on screen right now.
Which?
Or here, I can just link you to the page.
That's a thing too.
Faster. But yeah. Anything else with the goof though? It definitely feels better. I like it. I'm having fun with it.
Yeah, definitely a welcome change. Especially for lower cost stuff too. Just being able to switch stuff up.
Oh, I do have... Okay, that kind of building. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I just feel like in most cases when I've tried that, someone's going hard outside. It's missed. So maybe I'm just having weird angles. I'm not setting it up right. But it's always been a little bit weird for me when I do it.
But I guess another thing to add At 400, the sortie ratio, the sortie rate is 0.25% of players.
Oh my god.
And so here's one of my things. Like, going off that, though, win rate, all things considered, not that bad. But that's probably the 0.25% of people that actually really want to use that suit. Like, there's that one or two guys that's carrying that suit, and the reason why I point that out is look at that rival win rate, yo. 53.4% when the average is 46. That's almost 7% above the average win rate. Rival win rate, sorry.
Yeah, people going out there are putting in a lot of sweat equity on that suit.
Yeah. And damage is higher, and then you have the win rate being only 0.4 away, so it's really interesting that they did increase it, because I think it's because of the sortie rate, but there is people who definitely put in that work for that suit. And I'm curious to know, since they're doing stuff like that, how much they're going to start doing that for other suits that have decently high stats as far as the win rate and rival win rate and damage, but have like hardly nobody who plays them. Don Barrage play buff. Titify.
What would you want them to do in that case?
I mean, I'll take anything. I'm just saying, make my baby stronger. Let's go. Titify. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't have anything. I started thinking about that after I said that. I don't know. Just give it more damage. I'll one shot any general. Let's go. Your dodge rolls down. Beam missiles. You dead.
Oh shit.
But anyway, then we have well, if we don't have anything else for the goof though, that's pretty much my last thing I'd like to point out was that sweat equity, as you said.
I want to see those guys in this. Like, Chad was having a fucking field day, so.
Yeah, I definitely got pretty hype. The hype was loud. I was hyped enough that someone clipped it. I think Aoshi clipped it. He was like, Magnum hype levels over 9,000 or something.
Let's go. Yeah.
Because I hit somebody for over 9,000 damage, and I was just like, what? Okay, so support time. Kind of interesting what they buff. Kind of curious to see what this does. But, first one, Zusa. I was expecting something a little bit different, but the beam rifle on it got buffed by 100 damage, and this is base and at all levels, and they increased the stagger value. I'm really curious what that is. The HP also went up by 1,500. I personally already thought it was pretty defensive because of how much stagger it can do. And then the range damage at all levels went up by 5%, giving it 51. And then the chest 3-tube missile pod ×2, which is the secondary one, they improved it so that it doesn't hit objects on the map. So, that's the explodey one. That's the super explodey one, right? It's not the one that ignites thing. Not the incendiary, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because normally they would get caught on like other stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, what do we got for that beam stagger value?
Let's see. So in 2 shots it stuns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to say like it almost.
And I just got out of a match with the Zusa, and I did like top damage to a bunch of other shit, and that felt pretty good.
Yeah, it's up from 30% to 50.
Wow.
So just straight 2 for not even like a little bit on the fringe. Like, nope.
Yeah, that went from having to shoot 4 times to 2 just on a normal suit. Let's go, dude. Okay, that's pretty hype. That's hype, dude. Like, you got another accumulating stagger thing to deal with the raid. Let's go.
Like, it didn't have enough, right? The cluster bombs and all this other shit is like, now time to make it worse.
Fire missiles.
Okay, that's cool. Oh, what's the cooldown time on that gun, by the way? Like in between shots.
I'm waiting on trains. Hold on.
Is it that low?
It's pretty much gone now, but sometimes they let you know when they're on the way by honking early. But other times, I swear they're like, "Oh, we're sir, we're right outside Emblem's window."
Nice. They derail the train just for that occasion. Like, yes.
Yeah, 1.5 second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. I thought there was like you've been shooting, need to do something else, but that's pretty nice.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you just pop, and missiles or something else. How long? How many shots till it overheats?
2.
Oh,
So that's the other
So you
thing.
probably
Like, if
want to
you're gonna
switch to
get in
something
there,
else.
you're gonna cycle. But
what is this percentage?
because it's such an increase, you can just hit literally anything else to be fine.
He rates 75 Magnum.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's interesting. Okay, so I mean, yeah, that just sounds nice. That just makes that even better.
Yeah.
I
So,
want it
yeah.
even more now.
Overheat's 16. But I mean, by the time you get through most of your other weapons after that, it's like, that's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, if I get that at 500, that might be my main 500 support.
Hmm.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. I will say the damage numbers, which we kind of already knew this, the damage numbers is kind of the big thing I was curious to see on these stats, is they're definitely lower than average. But I mean, the thing is, it's a stagger beast, so that was kind of expected.
It's kind of weird that the numbers are so low. Although maybe it's just a lot of blocking. Just because the Sissa is, I feel like one of the safest to like
Yeah.
unload on suits in the game. But maybe it's just having trouble because of it being a big, thick missile turret or something.
But yeah, anything else with the Zissa? I mean, Gustav, you just played it, that it felt pretty good. So
Yeah.
there we go.
It's like I
Five.
said, it has trouble setting itself up, so that might be a thing.
Mm.
Yeah, you
I
pretty much
mean,
just have to.
like, I still instinctually leaned on the gut beam just because it's a shotgun, and it tends to sometimes just slot in on something when you're in range. But now that you have an extra gun to kind of just do that with at range while they're trying to close in, all the better, really.
And
Yeah,
you
it's
fire
very.
oranges at him.
Yep, get the oranges on the floor. If that doesn't work, you just hit them again, and then they're pretty much stunned. Gotta get
So,
those virtual on explosions out there.
and then the final buff we have. Kind of hoping to see the level 3 in here, but the Gelgu Jaeger level 4 and 5 got some buffs. Definitely curious to know the stats for the 5, but the level 4 got 1,000 health, bring it up to 18,500. The damage for its main beam gun, focus fire also got increased, but the main damage for just the base, the triple shot, went up by 25 to 600. And the beam spot gun went up by 13, so now it's 300. What do we got for the 5, and what is that focus fire increase?
The level 5 or HP is up from 18,000 to 19,500. Beam machine gun damage is up from 600 to 650. Focused increased damage is up from 2860 to 3120. Spot gun damage is up from 300 to 326.
What was the health?
19,500.
I don't know. For lack of a shield, I don't know. I don't feel like it's there still. Much as I love the Jaeger, I think the damage is kind of nice though for that.
Yeah.
The main gun.
For like the level 4, you're literally just talking about like 1,000 extra. Like meh.
Yeah.
I just kind of wonder if how much people stack their beam defenses and stuff. Will they like what could they do?
Yeah.
Like what's gonna make the beam heavy, the beam only Jaeger be able to stand out unless they just like up its damage?
Well, there were
you
two
know.
things that I was hoping they would do, and they could have even done one or the other. Was either increase the amount of burst that it does on its neutral shot for the rifle,
Yep.
so that it could build a stagger more, or just make the stagger threshold on the 3-round burst, more apparent. So that it at least has a little bit more immediate stopping power without having to sit there and charge to get that output that may just be null and void because of all the beam resistance anyway.
Yeah, the
So
only
at,
problem
least
with that,
at the
though,
very least is that it's just like partially doing its job.
well, the only problem with that though is like if you go off of what BB cares about, like it's doing fine at the other cost. So if they made a change like that, it would further boost it at the cost that it doesn't have, it's not having problems in. So I don't know. That's kind of weird.
And
Like,
that's
because I don't disagree, but it seems
Yeah,
like
because
if
honestly,
that
you can
happens,
use
it'll
it
be
at
too
those
strong.
costs too. Because
Yeah.
even beyond like native beam resistance, we have a significant amount of parts that you can throw on those lower cost suits to counteract that. And with the Zeta era suits in that cost range, like you might as well.
And I mean, I'm kind of confused here too. Like, I want to know how many people are actually. I wish they would just add that to a lot of these stats because I want to know how many people are actually sorting in this thing. I could see a lot still at 450, but at 500, I could definitely see a lot of fall off. And then at 550 for sure. And then, like, I pretty much hardly ever see one at 600 or 650.
Yeah, it's like a death sentence. You just don't.
Yeah, and then as
Because
soon as
there
I
are
see
other
one,
supports that'll like out damage and like fuck you up.
and then there's a lot of dodging
Yeah,
going on
Jaeger
when
is
that
one I'd
happens.
love to see.
So
If the Jaeger can't defend itself, it's great. You just murder it. Ooh, piece of candy.
and then the thing is too, again, back in the day, you had to pretty much. I mean,
Ian.
you could hit some crazy damage numbers, but you had to play it perfect with like crazy beam management and really paying attention to everything you're doing. And then if you did overheat, you had to be right on point with those Vulcans, and then get your melees in to compensate for that missing beam damage. And so what I think is, if I had to guess, the rival win rates and the win rates that they have, this is literally the same situation as the Goof when it comes to 450, 500, and maybe even the 550 range for this suit, because those were the three costs that was actually pretty solid in. And then once we hit level 4 and level 5, the suit just kind of took a nosedive. And also, if you don't have the level 4 and 5 gun, that's a big deal, right? So even though the level 4 and the level 5 got the main beam gun, the beam machine gun buffs, if you only have the level 3, well then, oops, right? So the only thing that actually got buffed on these suits guaranteed is the spot gun. So if you only have the level 3, then rip. So I don't know.
Reap.
I mean, the other nice thing would have been for them to mess with the Vulcans too.
Yeah, like the Vulcans are okay,
That,
but they're
that
not.
could have been another. That could have been another good excuse for them to have it be like a little bit more MLRS-ish.
Yeah. See, if they had the stagger or the rate of
Because
fire
it
is
already has
almost
high
almost
ammo
there.
capacity, so it might as well just be more potent so that they have something to use while they're trying to make their escape. I mean, towards that end, give it more boost.
That would be
Ta-da!
pretty hype. Also, what?
What the fuck?
I want.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was on Tenda's Twitter.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's the big update. A Tenda plush is real. Give me BB. Give me.
But yeah, it'll be curious to see what this does. I just want more for the Jaeger though.
We'll see if it pops up in a virtual claw game, right? Try to get it shipped over.
Where's the website? I will take my money.
Just make a whole stream out of it.
Dude,
Let's fucking
I'll do
go.
some claw games. I love claw games. Let's go.
I've had to play so many for Yakuza. It's like, oh my god.
That's awesome. But yeah, I wait. That's a what? Okay, that I want that food. Get some curry. Yeah. Only as right now, I've been substituting rice for cauliflower rice. Not exactly the same, but it works. But anyway, so yeah, that's the buffs. So, you guys want to get into some new suit speculation, and then some shoutouts?
Sounds good. Update my stuff. That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, same. I was like, wait, wrong
Oh,
one.
we get it. Get away from me. Ugh.
Okay, so well, whoops. Sorry, I muted too early. I have to agree. I don't think we're getting a 350, but what do we think we're gonna get?
I feel like the Kapool was actually in a pretty good spot. And I'm pretty sure it also matches up with the suit list that we've gotten previously. So we're still like on track with that. We haven't diverted for like several weeks or anything like that.
My guess, Zaku 3.
Yeah.
Is Zaku 3DO now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like I'm gonna get my marker board up, and this would be the time where I maybe next stream I will have it as the background. But the Capule came out, but they made a mistake and used the wrong name
It should give us
for
both.
that one part of it. And that one's the Turn A version, and Turn A Gundam has mobile suits too that could be playable on our online video game. So I mean, Turn X is coming out into servers. PS4 servers are going down with the advent of GIM.
They're just gonna wipe out the they're gonna do our Turn A event, but just to wipe the PS4 servers.
Yes, Gim's you're gonna log in, and it's gonna be a shot of fucking Gim, and it's like Turn X is out. It's like Turn X, Turn A Nissan, and then Moonlight Butterfly, or sorry, Moonbeam Butterfly is what they call it in the more recent games. But yeah, Dio's gonna show up and Moonbeam your whole entire PlayStation 4 and yeet the game off of it, and all it would be is a picture that says "Get a PS5."
PS5, yes.
Yeah.
Now on PS5. Oh no.
Turn X confirmed.
Capule is the actual Capule is the shadow suit.
Yes. Yes. And the cosmetics you roll for will be Gim's sword and Laura Rolla's dress.
Oh my god, and Sochi's helmet.
Well, poor Sochi. Poor Sochi. Dude, I think Sochi's helmet as a cosmetic, instead of them re-rolling Winter Helmet 5 or number 1 or whatever, would have been real cool.
I'd rock that outfit entirely on Jenny. Like,
yeah.
Hell yeah. God, her as a Navi would be so, like, she just yells all the time.
Oh, gosh.
You know,
I would love to have Laura Rolla as a navigator. Go ahead, Magnum.
I got another, like, hang on, guys. I've got it figured out.
Oh no!
Hold on. Let me take my stuff down. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. My turn. So, we had 350 last time, which led to the O, which was a 650. We got a general this time. They've been giving us supports more often. So 350
Supports have an
equals
advantage against
650
generals.
suit, which means we're gonna get the game lock. Yeah.
Yes.
Next
I
week.
picked up what you're down.
There we
Monica.
I've been
go.
sipping the jet fuel too, Magnum.
I mean, I feel like that's almost a little bit more O-ish than the Zaku 3 at this point. We've been
And-
calling that for a minute. And, like, not just us, but other people. Like, give us another fucking support. Just do it.
What?
So we got a. Wait, when was the last raid?
When was the last raid?
The Mark V.
Was that?
Oh,
Oh wow, yeah, we did. Okay,
the
crazy.
crazy
take
thing
here.
is that the Mark V is definitely like the answer for a lot of stuff at high cost, and yet so few people got them. Like, I hardly ever see them, but when they get in there, they're fucking shit up.
I like playing the Mark V, man. You literally like drift in on people and slap them with your beam saber, just like Speed Racer. Well, Speed Racer didn't have a beam saber, but
Right.
He probably drifted at some point during the show.
You know what? It could fold out of his car. Fuck it.
Yeah, there we go.
You're essentially just fucking Blade Liger at that point. But it's definitely everything that I wanted the Dovin to be, so like I want one and I'm mad that I don't have it.
Crazy take here. Instead of a support, what if it's a raid?
Crazy take here, but why the fuck would they ever do that?
I don't know, because
which one? The
they want to just make me mad.
Or the game.
No, the game arc.
Yeah. What if that was a raid instead? I would cry, dude.
It's got funnels in funnels, man. There's no fucking way.
I would cry, man.
I wish this is. I kind of hope this is one that an opinion that ages poorly, because it'd be hilarious to see it as a raid, but like, no, probably not.
If they release it as a raid, it'll be a 2-star that has stealth.
And no,
like
and no mother funnel. It would just have like
that's the only. Yeah,
like you can scope in to do the fucking funnels. That'd be amazing. The minute anything is close to you, you just get to sit there and just barf beams as like a neutral. Like, blah, get away.
Dude, I want to see that thing's counter and it just like vomit beams into something.
You know what I want? I want it to have a charge beam, but when it actually lets loose, it's just an AoE, just like
it's just
back.
everywhere.
Everything barfs out.
When they release the suit, they add Charasun's hair to Dahlia's fucking shop.
Yes, I mean they should already be doing that, right? Like they should have Haman shit in there. They should have like a bunch of different hair for both.
Take my token, Dahlia. Give me Haman's hair.
We also need Charasun's fucking outfit.
On all of his characters, Haman's hair.
Male and female. I mean, they're both female, so whatever. But like, yes.
Because here's the thing: we're getting spacesuits, but we should also be getting like their formal and like casual wear too. And we're not. Agree. It's whack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
I still want.
Why the fuck don't we have Rue Lucas shit already?
I know. I want a rainbow. I want a shooting star in my ass, man. Come on.
Give me that reading rainbow on my cheeks.
Why was that not? Why was that not the level 2 Zeta Gundam like banner reward, man?
Ah, man, stupid. If you're gonna drag out this game, you at least got to do that much for the cosmetics.
For real, dude. So many easy cosmetics.
Literally, the show made them for you. Cosmetics, BD.
Yeah, load up Breaker 3, take a screenshot of the Rue Luca pilot suit, and then just tweet it over to him. I was like, "Where is this?"
Okay, so Gustav, what's your pick for next week?
Either Game Milk or Gaz LNR.
Ooh.
Just because it'd be a double banner that would cover both general and raid, and be like, "Hey, you got one though." It's like, yeah, you're right, but that seems like a safe one.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Because they've been calling that for the guys like for a while. They just need to bite the bullet and just put it in there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Red Gaza will be a general, and Blue Gaza will be
Like
a
they
raid, of
flip
course.
it just to fuck with you.
I would love that.
It's like, we already know the player base is gonna do it, so we did it for you.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have them. Now when you do paint them the other colors, it'll be right. So screw
And
you
everyone
guys.
will be even more confused. Let's go.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh no.
But yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. I think we could see those suits coming out. Maybe.
Why should be none of those and be like a mass production Capule or some bullshit? Like just what?
I'd be okay with that too.
I would be okay with that.
MP Kubulu 600 650.
Support Boogaloo.
Yeah. But
Don't give you a game arc, but here's a Capule for cannon on its back. It doesn't stun, but you have funnels.
Real talk, if they say because he had the cannons that the funnels don't reach as far, I'm gonna be real mad. I'm gonna be big mad.
Angry Magnum.
Yes, disgruntled Magnum.
I'd be mad and sad, man. Like shedding a tear over here.
I feel you. It's that look you have when you don't get your game closing macro during your hardcore league in the middle of a race and you die.
Bringing up feelings, deep feelings.
Where you just have
trade. That one snuck up on me. Hold on.
Where you just have elemental damage hubris and die to that too.
Oof. That's the new one, right?
I don't want to talk about.
But those no dodge rolls for support. Just ignoring the fact that the EXS can roll around with all that heavy gear it has on, but those supports, man. I mean, just not enough. Just not enough.
It's only getting worse, right? Like,
why can't he roll?
I can't even.
It's like it's like those cartoon like birds that have like teeny tiny wings, and it's like, oh, I can't fly. And then there's someone that's like twice the size with like huge ones, and it's like zipping around all over. It's like, why? Just let me fucking roll, dude.
Like, I can't wait till the full armor double Zeta comes out, and it can dodge.
No.
And when the Z2 comes out, well, it'll be a support that can fly. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, it'll be a transferable. That's fine.
Let's see. When the Gyaradoga heavy something type comes out, it'll have emergency evasion program 0.5. It'll let you roll. You just won't have dodge frames or immunity.
It just does a sidestep.
I mean, isn't that already how it works anyway? You
pretty much you just turn into a Yakuza character.
You don't take damage when you
instead.
Like, isn't that how dodge rolls work anyway? Right now, you still take the damage, but you just don't get staggered.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'd be like that. You'll still get staggered. There's actually no.
That's not even just the roll. It's just a fucking. That's even tackles.
You get staggered halfway through the roll instead now with 0.5.
I feel like sometimes that happens. Like you're starting the animation and smack. Like, wait, what? Hold on a second.
Dude, I had a bad one here the other day where I was just like, okay, all I gotta do is dodge roll, guys. After they get done staggering me here, we're good. And I just force inject.
I hate that happened to me the other day.
Oh god. The power of flinch. The power of flinch.
Injection, man.
Anyway.
Because now it's both, right? Like now that flinch is actually working properly, it's both of those things working in tandem.
I want flinch taken out of the game. It's so stupid. It is so dumb.
My thing is, if they're gonna do it, they need to double down and make it more of a thing for MG suits.
Yes.
The MG suits need to. The MG suits are bad, and they should feel bad. Take flinch out of the games. It's like tripping in Smash. It's so dumb.
Okay.
Is like I actually kind of wonder, like, is that how people see that?
I hate it whenever I'm getting shot by something. And I'm like, oh, let me dodge roll. It's like, and I'm just getting shot by someone. It's like, it happened, stupid flinch, or like, oh, let me attack this guy that's right in front of me because he has no roll, and they're just like,
why can't I move, Theo?
Oh, there was one where I got tilted.
Why won't you move? Okay.
I was trying to tackle, and it was just like flinch. I'm like, oh no, triangle! So
If they were to hyper power flinch the Hymo ground Zaku's MG, that would make it worth using. Yeah, like if they had the medium Zaku MG, just heavy flinch people, like, oh god. That's probably the only
That's a
reason
heavy
I'd
flinch,
ever.
just a stagger.
No, I mean it would just be because I feel like it's more pronounced when you're using like the Capula's like funnels and shit. But there are other instances where if you're getting focus fired real bad, it'll still do it. But because you're getting hit by multiple things that are technically still having a flinch effect, it's like even worse.
Yeah, like and I guess that's kind of being said with the case that like it seems like not all suits have the same flinch effect as others or something. Yeah, I kind of wonder about that. I haven't really done any testing. I just know I hate flinching.
Because it's just attack pattern and rate of fire in the way that it actually works versus how you can actually match or not out of it. When you're trying to like force
to
your
my
inputs.
understanding, flinch works the same for all weapons that have it, but I haven't really seen anything that goes into any more detail than that. So I'd have to look and see how that works.
Yeah,
That's
I mean it's the idea of it being on like an individual level for a single weapon, yes. But when you're having multiple funnels come at you either in the follow formation or when they're trying to surround you when they're sent out, like that's different.
I think a good example of this, and I'm pretty sure I remember what it was, where I was just spamming tackle and couldn't tackle it because it had like health. I was like, I'll just win with tackle. Yeah.
I feel like the spotter guns have gotten it a lot worse now.
Yeah.
Like,
so the detector was shooting me, and I was like, wait a minute, that little plink gun that does like no damage, but it has flinch. Okay, so that's what it's meant for. And
it's like stop.
Yeah, and I like the rate of fire that it has was just like, I think just keeps it going. Whereas some
I think
things
that's
that
the biggest determining factor.
Yeah,
for me too, is how
the
fast
Gundam
they fire.
unit spotters are even worse because it's the interval makes it kind of hard to get out of, and then on top of that, you can get stunned by them.
Yeah, so if the flinch weapon has a awkward rate of fire, what will probably happen with some of them, why they don't feel like they do it as much, is you get flinched the first time, and then there's that window that you can do something, and then you're fine. Whereas, like, I think with a detector, for instance, its rate of fire is just fast enough to where it's just 100% on until you overheat.
Yeah.
But,
like you're almost hoping for the stun at that point so that you can just roll out of it, like, cut it out.
Right. But yeah. Anything else for the new suits?
I think
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to just see what it's gonna be at this point because we're still like, despite it following some of the info that we've gotten so far, it's still pretty much all over the place.
Yeah.
And before we speculate about new suits, let's get that NA client back up and running. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
First things first, fix the game, please.
Please. Please. So
I've been doing dailies. Okay, like, to be fair, I've been doing dailies all day, like while we were doing this. I'm on the JP client. We didn't have any like game DCs, which is good. I'm assuming once they actually fix that other client, we might actually be okay. And I wonder what the disconnect rate's gonna be at that point, if they're actually gonna try to track that. But once again, we've had another week where things just fucking broke when they try to implement something like big. So, you know, typical stuff. It's been a couple of years and they've done it several times, but hopefully they can get it fixed. The thing that scares me is that they have a post on the English version of the site about that patch, and it's like, I hope they don't think they actually fixed it when they didn't, because they only fixed it for one of them. I was like, but it's server-wide. Apparently that's not enough.
So, yeah, hopefully we get something soon for that. But, till then we can have people ask, wait, how are you playing?
Yeah, it's always kind of funny whenever sometimes like, how are you playing the game? It's like JB client or PS5 master race, bud.
PS5 privilege.
But yeah. So we want to do some shout outs.
I guess. Okay, so Gustav 13th or Gustav_X_I. I am on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and a little bit on Instagram. I still need to rebrand that properly because I do want to try to use it specifically for the channel. We are currently going through Yakuza 6 Song of Life on the PS4, so bear with the performance. Besides that, we're going to be moving on to Yakuza 7, and I don't really know. There's a couple things that I want to do after we're done with Yakuza, but if we're going to be frank, it's going to be a minute. Like, 6 may or may not take that long, but 7 definitely is, from the way I've seen people play through it, and the way that I know I'm going to want to play through it, so, you know, buckle up. I'm probably going to be going into spring with that. Besides that, I've been trying to keep up with my VODs and all that. Crossrays is finally done on the YouTube side, so Yakuza 3 is going to be cycling through for the playthroughs. I've been trying to mix in some other stuff from GBO2 in terms of like matches and clan match VODs and stuff like that. So hopefully I can keep up with that and see if we can think of any other kind of content to put on there. So keep an eye out for sure.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's a little bit off topic, but
Oh no.
because we're talking about Flinch, chat's memeing about Flinch, and Draven just said thrusting next to other mobile suits are causing to flinch. And I asked him, is that because the pilot that you're boosting next to has to say hi?
Hi,
Like an audible sound effect. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I just thought that was kind of funny.
Could you imagine if they did that in English? He's fast.
Oh gosh, no, please.
Oh,
Please
no.
just say hi.
So fast. I mean, they do it all the time when they had to dub them. Like, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
He's fast.
I can't keep up with them.
Okay.
But that aside, I am GamingEmblem, sometime known as Gaming Coup. Play video games on the internet. Still playing some Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Cooperation 2 on my superior PlayStation 5 that has Western client access right now. Feels good, man. And we're playing Namcom Crass Bamcom or whatever. You know, also known as Namco Cross Capcom, where we got all of our favorite crossover characters, including Totally Not Sonic the Hedgehog and white Kung Fu Fighter and red suit Kung Fu Fighter, known as Ken, maybe Ryu. And it's a lot of fun. And, you know, sometimes there's budget and people talk and have voice acting, and sometimes they don't. So it's kind of like you like get off the assumption like, oh, I need to talk now, and then all of a sudden the budget's back, and like, oh, well, my bad, I talked over you.
Gotta roll the voiceover. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I don't know if that's canon or not, but King is in the game, and even during spoken character lines, he doesn't have he'll have dialogue, but I guess he just doesn't have a voice actor because he does not have voiced lines when everybody else does. His stuff is silent, so it's
Does he at least make
interesting.
like cat noises or something? That'd be hilarious.
Not that I'm aware of.
That'd
Like I
be
think when
really
he
cool.
attacks, he'll do stuff, but like there is no audio at all when he's talking normally. It's just voiceless. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, GamingEmblem, check it out. We play video games on the internet sometimes and do other things. And everybody in chat says I'm a Stream Raiders mainstream now. So I guess what I should have said was we play Stream Raiders here, and there are video games on the side.
Yeah, I mean, all of us are in it now, right? So
yeah, I forgot that about the recap. But anyway, as usual, everybody's links will be down in the description below. Thanks for coming on, guys. And I am EG Magnum. I stream on Twitch. Got a Twitter, YouTube, Discord channel. Also need to get to work on fixing my Instagram stuff and things too. Finally got it on the phone, so yeah, I can finally upload, I guess. I apparently don't understand Instagram. But anyway, as far as what I'll be playing tomorrow, if I'm feeling froggy, I'll stream. If not, I'm gonna take the time to get some extra stuff done. Same with the weekend. But if I do, I probably will. Somehow, I'll be doing some Path of Exile and Gundam dailies and stuff like that, and Stream Raiders. But other than that, probably doing some Gundam right after this. And next week, Monday, should be. We had to cancel a lot of stuff this week, but Monday should be Master Chief Collection with Aoshi. Again, we'll be doing the Halo 2 then. Legendary. So if one of us dies, rip. That's going to be fun. Nope. And hopefully we get through the game in one night, or the first 2 levels, or the first one. But anyway, and then Tuesday we'll be back with Baldur's Gate 3. We had to do that today, but we'll be back on the usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Halo stuff, by the way, will be around 5 p.m. Eastern. And then Wednesday, Tabletop again will be back. Canceled this week, and that'll be 6 p.m. Eastern, as well as Banner Night, of course. And then the podcast at 9 p.m. on Thursday. So, anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let us know in the comments of what you thought about what we talked about in this episode. There was a lot to cover, and a lot of interesting things that happened in this patch. And hopefully the game gets fixed. But anyway, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Later.